We're not doing bingos, by the way. We're not doing bingos. We're gonna be reading some Steam discussions. Also, it's been a while since I heard this music, but we're back. Okay. This is not gonna be season 3. I don't think I'm gonna do season 3. All right. I really want to just play video games for the moment, like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm trying to put as much time as I can into those games because I really like them a lot. Problem is they're both grind heavy games. They both have farming monsters for materials. Both of them. Also, fun fact, I mentioned this on the last stream of Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I didn't actually like look into it. If you do mark something you want to create in the arms manufacturer, if you mark that, it does track on the world map the things you have to kill. Again, huge. It didn't do that in the original. You had to go to a wiki page to find out what drops what, or just get reward tickets. KPJ, did you know Monster Hunter Wilds is too hard? This game is too hard. I'm done. Been trying to beat Tempered Gormagala for a week now. There are no openings. He attacks constantly. There are no good telegraphs for her attacks either. She just randomly becomes a hitbox and one-shots you. Extremely poorly designed boss. Also, apparently a gender fluid boss as well. Didn't know that. But I don't think, you know, this is obviously a skill issue. I hate to say it, but yes. I also did look back through this person's history. They're a clown farmer, by the way, just so you're aware. I wasn't sure at first because this was the first post I saw today, and I was like, ain't no way. All right. Ain't no way, but they're absolutely a clown farmer. They have another post. Posted earlier was this one. Why no feline expeditions? I'm tired of hunting monsters for parts. Why can't we just send our cats to beat up monsters? But we don't have to grind the same monster over and over again. I just want monster parts. I can't imagine anybody in the past games who relied on the feline expeditions for parts. I don't think a single person who played the prior Monster Hunter games ever deliberately relied on the Palico gathering to get your like last Kutku scale or whatever the fuck. That's a little ridiculous. Unless they're talking about Generations Ultimate and you can send your own cat on an expedition that you control where you go fight the monster, you know? Prowler mode. Where's that? Maybe that'll be in G rank for this game, who knows? Also, I like this spider and a birthday cake. You're tired of hunting monsters for parts? Do you know where you are right now? See, KPJ, I forget which game it was. I don't remember which one. But there was actually an optimal strategy with that, because if your Palico Plunderblades something, it does have a chance to get a gem, and it is, in some cases, technically faster to get a gem from the Plunderblade. Technically.
Oh, okay.
Caboose. Thank you. There will be some, whatchamacallit, Wonderlands tonight. Okay, also, I saw this post as well. I was about to, KBJ, spoilers, I was gonna post this in your chat for TTS because I thought it was so fucking funny. This could be applied to anything. This is not exclusive to Monster Hunter. This is everything.
I'm losing my mind. Like, really, not to disparage anyone. And everyone is obviously entitled to their opinion. But I'm actually genuinely losing my grip on reality following the discourse surrounding this game. All I really want is to find people who can back up the very obvious realities I'm seeing and help me not feel like I'm completely losing my mind. But 90% of what I see here is gaslighting and willful misinformation paired with some good old-fashioned Darvo.
I don't know what Darvo is, but I'm really glad somebody in the comments clarified.
You can't even report this behavior because it doesn't, strictly speaking, break any community guidelines. No matter how genuinely distressing it is for people to post their genuine thoughts and feelings, or report actual genuine problems, and be repeatedly told that they're making things up, farming gesture stickers for clout, which is absolutely absurd in 99% of cases, or that they're stupid and wrong.
I like that this person got a gesture award, by the way. But in the case of that previous guy, he's absolutely gesture farming, okay? Like, I don't think he has actual genuine concerns.
Yeah, I know it's just the internet, and I shouldn't actually take any of this seriously, because anyone in the modern age is a vitriolic sociopath. But this is really genuinely upsetting to see happen to one of my favorite communities that was never like this. Monster Hunter communities used to be friendly, open, welcoming, and polite. What happened?
I want to scroll down because like somebody gave up a really good answer for this. I don't know what their name is, but they're 100% correct. 110% correct. Because you could go back as far as you want, but like Monster Hunter was such a niche genre, and the community was such like a tightly knit woven basket. All right, but as soon as Monster Hunter World hit the scene and like it became a sort of Western mainstream title and everybody and your grandmother played it, you then get in all of the shitty people. All right. And there's more of them than there is of like die-hard Monster Hunter fans. Now, if you ask somebody, you know, what's your first Monster Hunter game that you played? They'll say Monster Hunter World. Like, bitch, come on, there's like 1 billion games. Like, but all right. No. I also want to say Monster Hunter World for another reason too. Is the introduction of some less than friendly quest design. I'm not a big fan of EX Behemoth, and I'm very much not a big fan of Elatrion's appearance in Monster Hunter World. I think it was absolute garbage. I despise quests in general, and monsters specifically, or I guess boss fights, whatever you want to call them, alright, that force you to play in a very specific way. And this happened a couple times in Monster Hunter World due to DPS checks. If you do not meet the requirements for a DPS check, you just get a party wipe. And the problem with this is people just want to use what they want to use. They want to play what they want to play and just have fun. Unfortunately, things like EX Behemoth and Elatrion don't allow for fun because you have to play in the way the game is designed to play. You can't just like bring a fucking thunder weapon to Elatrion and just have a good time. No, you have to bring a fire or ice weapon. You cannot play anything else. Like, absolute bullshit. And obviously, like, if you're that one guy in the party who's got like a thunder weapon or whatever, and the team party wipes, everybody else is gonna look at you and be like, we're not gonna hunt with this fuck again. All right, like he's not changing his weapon, he's not using what's required for this fight. Fuck him. All right, he's not coming on the next one. And like, you get these people who just push away people in the community who just want to have fun, and that's what happens here. And obviously, it hasn't happened for Rise or Wilds yet because there is no fights that specifically require that. You can use whatever the fuck you want in Wilds. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, you know, obviously, if you're looking at the kill times and you're a speedrunner, yeah, it makes a difference. But for like just generally having fun, it doesn't make a difference. What was I gonna say? Oh my god, train of thought going. Oh yeah, until they release a monster in the title update, which they're probably gonna do, because this is the same dev team as Monster Hunter World. They're probably gonna make a monster similar to EX Behemoth again. I really hope they don't, but they might. And there's a small chance that they do, because people in the community are obviously gonna be asking for a challenge. None of the monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds right now offer a challenge. Like, they're tough, but nothing forces you to actually get good at the game. You can just SOS flare, face roll everything. Like, you don't have to actually like get good or learn attack patterns or anything like that. You can just play however the fuck you want to play and you'll get through it. It's not a problem. Something like EX Behemoth, for example, again, like same with Elatrion, you have to understand what the different phases are and how to get through them. You can't just face roll them. You have to play properly. And that monster doesn't exist yet in Monster Hunter Wilds, and I hope it fucking doesn't. I think I could be wrong about this, by the way, because I only fought Amatsu one time in Rise. I don't know if Amatsu was on the same tier as that. I don't think it was, because I just used the hunting horn and it was fine. But I only fought it one time and only killed it one time, so I don't have any, like, grounds for it. Similar to the other monsters that Rise added. I only fought them one time and only killed them one time because I couldn't be fucked. I couldn't be fucked grinding to get to, like, MR 200. Just get Mopu to start the quest for me. But, like, I don't know. I don't think any of those monsters required you to play in a specific way. You could just use whatever you wanted to. They were just tougher versions of pre-existing monsters. Again, EX Behemoth and fucking Elatrion are like completely different fights. They're completely different from the way the game is structured and has been structured for quite some time. They feel, I guess they're more like frontier style monsters. I'm getting way too sidetracked because, like, it's just ridiculous to me that you'd have to min-max an entire set just to fight like one particular monster. I think that's absurd and it should never be a thing. I hate that. Anyway, also there's this too. I saw this one as well. I don't know what's up with this one. Can we normalize using your second weapon? I noticed that everyone just rocks their one build with their one weapon and call it a day. Yet I'm over here rolling into battle with songs loaded up in my horn already, so I can buff everyone the second we get into a fight, then switch to my long sword and DPS. Just switching to your horn to dump some buffs on everyone and switch back to your DPS can be a huge help to yourself and everyone else. I'm simply saying, diversify your portfolio and, a bit, and multitask. It gives you and the team a huge advantage. Similar to the previous point, I don't see a reason for this. Like, this is something I want to see expanded upon in the G rank expansion, because nothing in the game requires you to swap to a different weapon. This is something, I don't know how you'd even do it, by the way. I don't know how you'd implement a forced switch mid-hunt. I don't know if you can do that, and I don't know if that'd be good. But nothing in the game requires you to swap weapons. You don't have to do it. This guy wants to buff up with a horn and play longsword. That's fine. That's how you want to play, go for it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really make much of a difference. The thing you're fighting is still going to die regardless. Alright? Like, that's pretty much it. Like, looking at the horns as well, I do like a lot of the different horns. I don't like that one of them only has the restore sharpness one. I think that's a bit silly. But, or the extend melodies horn, I should say. Only one horn has that song for whatever fucking reason. But like, there's no incentive to swap between weapons. I can understand it if you're playing solo, right? You'd obviously want to have a difference between blunt damage and cutting damage. Because I know Baroth isn't in the game, and I don't know... Hang on, there's not that many monsters, I can probably think of this. I don't think any of the new monsters require blunt damage to get a particular part, like with Baroth. The reason I keep bringing up Baroth is you need a blunt weapon like a hammer or a hunting horn to break off the ridge. It's the only way to break off the ridge. And you need a cutting weapon to cut off the tail if you wanted to. So you can get both in Wilds if Baroth was in Wilds. He's not, though. And I don't think anything else actually requires you to use a blunt weapon to get an extra break. Except, maybe, Jindahad. Jindahad is the only fight where I feel like swapping is kind of necessary a little bit, if you want the gem. It only increases your odds for the gem because the back can only be broken in certain ways. But that's irrelevant because you can just get an investigation that guarantees you a gem regardless. So there's no point. I actually would like a fight that does incentivize swapping weapons, but again, I don't know how you'd implement that. I don't know. The only way you could is to remove things by removing the camp, so you can't just like swap loadouts. You can't just restock. You can't, and you have to fight multiple enemies. Let's say, okay, hypothetically, let's say Monster Hunter Wilds introduces a new monster that is a duo. It's two monsters in one. Like, you know how Celtus Queen has like Celtus and then the Queen Celtus, all right? Like two monsters in one. Let's say you had to fight both of those monsters and you had to kill both of them at the same time, or one of them revives or some shit. They're like a symbiotic entity or whatever. And one of them was only weak to one element and the other one was weak to another element, okay? And, you know, I hate saying this, but going back to the Elatrion point, let's say they did team up and have like a, you know how, I'm making this more like Teostra and Lunastra, but let's say they have like a team up, right? That's a party wipe. And you have to do like elemental damage to them or some shit. And like, if one of them's dead, you'd want to or need to swap to the other weapon in order to cancel their attack or whatever. So you'd have like the incentive to swap mid-hunt to an ice weapon or a fire weapon or vice versa. That's the only way I can see that visibly happening, but I don't know. Like, it would be unique and interesting, and also going off of what Wild's is capable of by letting you swap weapons mid-hunt, but at the same time, nothing is stopping you just from going back to the camp and just changing your entire loadout. Like, you can just do that at any point in the game. You could restock with whatever. I hate the introduction to base camps. I think they're fucking god-awful. But, like, nothing stopping you from just doing that at any point. I'm curious what people said. Wait. I thought that they nerfed that part of the hunting horn after beta, so that you had to keep the hunting horn out in order to keep buffs active. Did I read it wrong? Oh, shit. Was that really a thing in the beta? Oh man, I feel like it's kind of nuts now, because you can stack two. I mean, you're going on hunting horn players, right? Being able to stack 2 hunting horns is kind of funny if you want dual buffs. There's only that one you'd have to use. I think it's the Guardian Arcvale one that has the extend all melodies, but you could stack a bunch of melodies with one hunting horn and then swap to one that extends it, and it extends the other ones too. That's nice. Dual hammers. Do you mean the second slot is empty, or they use one weapon taking up both slots? The problem is different weapons require different builds. I can use dual blades and bow as they have similar skills that help both, but I can't do hammer and light bowgun because those are 2 different weapons with different setups. The issue is a lot of weapons don't go well together. He's got a point. I think this might be one of the reasons why they removed a lot of useful skills and just shocked them onto weapon skills. I think this is one of the reasons why you don't have to have multiple armor sets, except for, obviously, he's talking about dual blades and bow. Constitution is probably one of the only skills that, and like, I guess latent power, I suppose, depending on the weapon you'd want to use. There are certain armor skills that would be more beneficial, particularly in the stamina department. Like if you're using a lance or whatever, you'd probably want to have like stamina surge or constitution, one of the two. But then there are some weapons that don't require as much stamina. But that's such a minor point as well. Like, you don't need to. Weapons have 2 weapons but 1 armor. Different weapons. Oh, he's just repeating the exact same shit. Wait, going from sword and shield to greatsword, for example, only use different decos, armor set, and deco. There's almost no difference between greatsword and sword and shield. They both have the same capabilities. Well, that's a bad example. The example of like dual blades and bow, and then compare that to hammer and light bowgun, that makes sense. I understand that. Sword and shield and greatsword are like the same fucking weapon. Corner horn has really evolved now. Yeah, they got them pocket dudes. Help. The game is already too easy. Do you need more help? Holy shit. Dagny gets it.
Calm down, Mr. Elite Pro Gamer. Nobody cares how easy you think the game is. That wasn't the question.
Wow, that comes out of nowhere. All right. Why are you getting up him for that? He's just having an easy time. The game really isn't that hard. Like, he's not wrong. I'll hope devs never forces it using 2 weapons. Maybe KBJ. And design fights where we must switch weapons as the fight goes on. Hate that type of mechanic in games. Look, I know I was advocating for it before. I don't like it, but I think it would be cool and unique. I'm not saying I'd like it, but it would be something that Wilds is only capable of and no other Monster Hunter game. It kills my emotion of being some kind of master of a weapon, and I don't want to constantly switch off of my favorite weapon to something to a less enjoyable one. Wait, to something less enjoyable one. Okay. It's just bad design in my opinion. I mean, I think it makes... The problem is, again, it's irrelevant, but I see the implementation of it for dual element things, like dual blades, for example, because they're a high element usage weapon. You'd want to have multiple elements with you, but there's no monster in the fucking game, or no hunt scenario that would require you to swap mid-hunt to a different element. Again, you can just go back to the base camp and equip a different loadout, or just change weapons in the base camp, similar to Monster Hunter Wilds, similar to Monster Hunter Rise. You don't have to have 2 weapons with you. This is horrible. Elatrion, okay, real talk. Elatrion, if it was implemented in Wilds, would make more sense because of the weapon swapping. That is a monster that should be in Wilds, because you can swap to the fire mode when it goes to ice mode. That's actually kind of helpful. But as it currently stands, again, there's no monster in Monster Hunter Wilds that would make use of this ability that you have, which is a bit of a, you know, if anybody's making a critique of Monster Hunter Wilds out there, that's a pretty important point. Because what is even the point of even adding a feature like this if there's just no reason for it? And as it stands right now, there is no reason for it. And so just stick to the same weapon, duh. Alright, Parmac, fair enough. I did every hunt. I have a sleep sword and shield as my side piece. Oh, it actually makes sense. Oh. Shit. Parmac laying out the cool info. I should probably try this. That makes sense. Also sleep with some shield instead of bombs for a huge Wyvern Fire Blast combo. That is cool. If they force the mechanic I just said, then that's not gonna work. Just saying, duh. I mean, like, I don't know if they could force. Like, I can see forcing it because a monster would change its element, and again, the only monster in the game that is capable of that right now is like Elatrion. I don't know if there's another one that I'm unaware of. Maybe they'll have a crossover event with another game like Terraria, and they'll implement like some boss from Terraria as like a fucking element swapping thing. But let's say you're fighting Jindahad and it moves between areas, and then for some reason when you're going into phase 3, you have to you're forced to swap weapons. You're just forced to do that, and you have no control over that, and you can't swap back. If that happened, that wouldn't be very good. That wouldn't be very fun. I don't know if I'd like that. You'd have to plan for that in advance. It's exactly why skills limited to armor weapons now. They don't want you to have focus on armor because it does absolutely nothing on some weapons, so it makes no sense to put it on there. Again, the only ones that come to mind is like stamina related skills, because those are still on armor sets. Oh god, Dagny clap back. Answer the question then. Help what? Huge advantage to do what? Exactly. Oh, it's this person. You could probably beat the whole game with no weapons. It's so easy. So why bother with 2? Oh wow, that's weird. It reminds me of Gridora a little bit. Instead of, who is this person? Or something similar. I mainly use light bowgun, and it's hard to pair with something else, so I just thought about carrying one purely for support as a secondary. What if we... what we needed was be able to equip 2 different armor sets as well. That could be if they kept the same skills that they did in Monster Hunter World and Rise and literally every other game. If they kept that same skill mechanic, then yeah, being able to swap armor sets as well would be nice. But again, you can just go back to the camp and do that. I know it'd be faster to do it on the Sacred, but you can't, you know, take off all your clothes and put on new clothes while on your Sacred. That's a bit immersion breaking. But like, whatever. There's nothing to answer. You came in here swinging your game too easy card as if anyone cares. This was about the 2 weapon system. Stop blabbering and actually stick to the topic. Oh my god, dude, this guy coming in swinging. Holy fuck. There are already 2 topics to whine about a game being too easy. Go cry there. Well, there are? Shit, I need to go have a look at that. I didn't know. Yet you have the attack decos that is also weapon only, and almost nobody maxing it out because of this new system. Actually, on that topic, by the way, I don't like that attack is just like a stat on the weapon specifically. I feel like that and like critical eye should still be armor skills. I feel like they should still be armor skills because it's like what? It's like a 5-point skill now. That's a lot of investment when certain weapons need other skills to function. Like, I don't know, if you're using a status weapon, you'd probably want to focus on your status element and crit status. I don't know if crit status is fixed yet, by the way. Same for element. You'd probably want to spend a couple of decos getting crit element and you know, increasing your element gain and stuff like that. That only leaves you with like another slot depending on the weapon you're using if it's an Ardian weapon. Like, what the fuck? There's not enough room to be able to use attack skills or just like the generic handicraft or anything like that. Like, you just have to get lucky, I guess. I've tried. I want to use a greatsword that requires like protective polish and just like a smidge of handicraft to get like white. But it's just that weapon does not exist in the game, like as far as I'm aware. And if it does, it's like not as good as I'd want it to be. Or even like a Master's Touch set. None of the weapons have like ludicrous affinity that they did before, and getting affinity is a little bit harder. Like it's more of an investment by using a bunch of fucking weakness exploit, agitator and stuff like that. Like you can get it to 100%, but Master's Touch is not as good as it used to be. Mainly because like getting critical eye is so much harder now. And obviously other stuff. Hang on, separating the decos to two types, weapons and armor, was a stupid idea. There's zero benefit for the players. Build diversity nosedived because of it compared to the older titles. I feel like there should have been a comment in there somewhere, but that's fine. I kind of agree with that a little bit. I do, because like a lot of the armor is irrelevant. You don't need it. Because like, I guess it just depends on your play style, I suppose, but not much out of that. Your armor used to reflect like the type of weapon you'd use in the older games, because, you know, obviously shit like Slugger and stuff was tied to certain armor pieces, and you'd have to use those if you wanted to use like a hammer for the extra KO damage. But now you might as well just chuck in a fucking KO decoration on your weapon, and that's the extent. It doesn't matter what armor you use; it's the only way to get KO. It's like, whatever. Cat it off. Still waiting for a reason why non-newbie would actually need to switch weapons in combat. That's right, the game is too easy. Also, 30 minutes, by the way, until a thing happens. Oh shit, Dagny, about to come in here. About to come in here swinging. Sounds like you're worse than Polygon and IGN gaming journalists. Oh, I don't know. These two seem to have it out for each other quite heavily. It's just specifically these two. We have Minecraft Mario welcome to the stream as well. That makes no sense. Are you self-reporting? Because that seems to fit you. I want to bring something that is not even related to what is being talked about and focus on it. And then get mad at those who don't rage with me. Telling yourself off there. Wait. Who don't rage? Wait, hang on. Get mad at those? Who's getting mad at those? Oh. I don't think anyone's getting mad at you, Halanya. That's a bit weird. I don't think this is getting mad. The game's just too easy. I'd just like to remind you that it was IGN who made a review claiming it was too easy in a poor attempt at humble bragging. So this makes even less sense on your part. Oh my god, Halanya. Holy shit. Oh good. Bringing up Elatrion. Nice, nice. 9 out of 10 tempered gore runs. Wait, what? 9 out of 10 tempered gore runs I tried today ended in 3 cards. Whoa, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? How the hell did this happen? What? Of the 27 carts, one of them was mine. Well, don't fucking use an SOS flare then. What are you doing? The game is not too easy. You have 2,000 hours in Monster Hunter World. If they made the game for people with 2,000 hours in the previous game, they would have sold exactly 1,000 copies and gone out of business. That is not true. Everybody would have still bought the shit out of it. And in fact, I think people would even like it more if there was more of a challenge. I think that would be better. This is absolutely blasphemous. Like, Red-Eyed Flight.
Here's an idea for you. Turn off the multiplayer and just use the support hunters. It's okay. No one's gonna laugh at you. It's okay. You can do it, I believe. Then you wouldn't have an issue with tempered gore anymore. There's only one situation when I would want to swap weapons. If we can somehow do swap to my second weapon instantly, like the red and blue and rise, that's not a weapon. That's the fucking switch skill. That's the scrolls. And without having to ride the sacred, I'll go dual longsword with dual helmbreaker style. What the fuck does that mean? Why would you even want a second longsword? It's not like it. Well, I guess like maybe he's interpreting that if swapping your weapon changed your moveset as well, that'd be kind of cool. That would be pretty cool. But I don't see why that would be necessary. I think switch skills are gonna stay inside Monster Hunter Rise and they're just gonna sit there forever. That's not true. You were forced to switch weapons in that fight. If you feel that's the case, you were doing something wrong. Or you're not forced to switch weapons in the fight. You're not wrong, Dagny. You couldn't. Because the game didn't let you. Actually, you were still allowed to use a Farcaster after the party wipe attack. And then just switch to a different loadout and then come back into the fight. Just to make it easier, you know. Again, not forced to. But it would be interesting if you could do it without having to go back to the base camp. Oh my god. Hold on, who is it? Darth Angel? I don't know if this person said anything before. Wait, that's a bit wrong, or better said, not thought out on your end, guys. The weapon swap actually allows the player to combine multiple strengths. Status plus element weapons. So causing poison, for example, just to hit for a hard hitter. Maybe go to sleep with the fast attack weapons and then swap to greatsword to wake it up. So my issue with this is player preference, because you could just use a heavy bowgun, like, you know, heavy bowgun, put it to sleep, wyvern shot, wake it up. There's like, what you're explaining right now is the guns. That's all you do. You don't need to use a sword and shield to do this stuff. I mean, you can now, which is cool, but you don't need to. Insect Glaive as offhand will come with easy mounting. Literally any weapon in the game has easy mounting, but sure. And different spores for status effects. It's also great if you fight monsters which are half in the air, which are half the fight in the air to break their wings or get them down with flashbangs. So, oh, CJ, welcome to the stream. Guess what? Did you get your Discord account back? I'm assuming that's what the good news is. He's onto something here, though. He's onto something here. If there was a monster like, I guess, Rathalos, for example, where you were kind of incentivized to fight it in the air, then yeah, having an offhand insect glaive would be pretty useful. Okay, nice, CJ, nice. But again, there's no reason to do this because the flash bombs aren't nerfed yet. I say yet because they're probably going to nerf them, similar to how they did in Monster Hunter World, where they'll just build up a resistance to being flashed and they won't get flashed anymore. Because you can just infinitely chain flashes. It's kind of nuts. Oh, nice, CJ, nice. That is pretty lucky. Get a hard hitter for real damage phases. Get something with block for enraged monsters. So, I hate to say this, but you just talked about the greatsword in one sentence. That's pretty cool. But more importantly, let's say you have, okay. You're using a paralysis sword and shield, right?
and the monster gets paralyzed. Okay, what do I do now? Right on the D-pad, call my sacred. All right, swap weapons. Okay, jump off sacred. All right, I got my greatsword out, ready to line up a hit, ready for the charge attack. Here we go, charge attack. Oh, it's not paralyzed anymore, and it fucking hit me. Okay. It takes too long to swap weapons to justify doing it mid-fight. You have to do it when the monster's like traveling between areas. If you're doing it, okay, and this is if you're playing solo. If you have other hunters, then maybe you'd have time when it's distracted hunting some or fighting somebody else to swap weapons and come back in. But like, to do it between statuses, the only time you'd be able to pull that off is for sleep. That's the only time. Or because like whenever it gets knocked down, it is never knocked down long enough for you to make use of that for a high a high damaging weapon. That's ridiculous. Earth does that. Oh my goodness. The word hacker became rebanned again somehow. I don't know how. Oh, interesting, Seethe, interesting. Etc. See, again, like, this only applies if you specifically only ever play one weapon. Like, if you play longsword, right, and you only ever play longsword and you don't play anything else, well, okay, never mind. That's probably a bad example because you just counter everything. If you play switch axe, no, that's not a good example because you can counter everything. If you play, I was about to say bow, but that doesn't fucking count. If you play hammer, alright, I don't know if hammer has the water strike as it doesn't rise. If you play hammer and you play nothing else, maybe it would be good to swap to something else mid-hunt. Maybe. That's the only exception I can see, because most other weapons with their new and enhanced moveset are able to just kind of deal with monsters as they currently stand. As the way I see it, there's no incentive or reason to swap weapons. Period. None. Assuming you're a jack with all trades and can have a good understanding of the other weapons. Like, I don't see a reason for it. I just don't. Unless you're swapping the same thing. The swap speed stuff. Is there actually something that boosts swap speed? Because Rapid Morph is like only for Charge Blade and Switch Axe. I guess, I don't know if sheathing counts. I don't know if sheathing actually increases the speed. It might. It might. Interesting, so not to mention that it tweaks up the gameplay and it can cause way more fun than sitting on one weapon. Doubles the gameplay. Juhu. Weird way to laugh, but okay. Understandable. I mean, he's not wrong. If his entire argument, if all of this was just cut out and he just said, it makes the game more fun, I'd agree. Yeah, it does. It does make the game more fun. It's pretty cool. It's unnecessary, though. Yes, you can't change the armor, but the most important stuff is on the weapon itself anyway. Might change in the future with more alternatives, but that minimum of min-max might get outweighed by more passive damage, status effects, or survivability. Two weapons bring into the fight. Okay. I personally like that feature and make use of it anytime. While it takes a while until the... Okay, he's got to be playing in a different language, right? The Saikri will come and hand out the weapon. It's often kind of free damage. In the end, especially thanks to the wound system, causing insta-buffs, even after swapping them. I play Switch Axe with Poison or Paralysis together with Longsword or Insect Glaive on elements based on the monster I fight. Jump in, down it, deload everything into them, trigger status effects, instantly swap back, and then wait for the monster to go back into the zone and repeat. That's an interesting combination, actually. It's not too bad. Making joke. Well, now, CJ, your jokers maybe want to go test it, alright? Now we're gonna go test it. I'm truly forced to use any specific weapon. Take Cole for Tareth, for example. It's recommended to use a fire weapon until she's from full mantle, and swap to an ice weapon when she's naked. Right, weird to say it like that, but sure. But we can also power it through with any weapon we have. The only time I've used a specific weapon for Colv is crag shots. Or sticky shots. It's not called crag anymore, sticky shots. On the head to break the horns early. It's the only time. That's it. Like, I haven't really seen an incentive for Kolf, because Kolf doesn't do a fucking party wipe attack that you can't avoid if you don't do enough element damage. Or meet the DPS requirements. Kolf doesn't have that. Elatrion does, though. It's boiling water. Fair enough, fair enough. It's not right, but yeah, you're right. In Wilds, the only... Wait, hang on. Oh, yeah. In Wilds, the only times I used the second weapon was during dual monster quests with different elemental weaknesses. Like, use a raw weapon. It's just like using elemental weapons. All this does, by the way, is just cut out the time you would spend going back to base and equipping a different set. That's all it does. And in most cases with the dual monster quests, like, again, I would prefer, like, specific arena quests. I know they're not in Wilds, but that'd probably be the only time where something like this could actually shine and have its moment in the spotlight of being forced to use specific weapons to swap between. I don't know why they don't have arena quests in Wilds. I feel like that's a staple and it's just not in the game for some reason. And I know there's going to be some elitist who's like,
actually, there is arena quests. You could go there and make an expedition for an arena quest anytime you want.
And that's not what I mean. I mean the actual, like, arena quests that give you coins that do nothing but as time attacks. Like, you get nothing out of it except coins. I don't mean actual quests. I mean, like, the sub-quest of arena quests. I'll over to it. It's a good idea, CJ. It's a good idea. I do miss arena quests a lot. Like, a heck of a lot. They were in Rise as well. Did them all there. They were good. Misuse of the word normalize. In reality, you're just trying to force people to play how you play. Let them play whatever they want. It's a video game. Holy shit. Words of the god right here. I'm getting distracted though. I forgot. This is a long thread. It's almost time for Borderlands, but I want to see some more top page stuff that isn't related to PC problems. Where's Tigrex? Brother. Nobody knows yet. Nobody knows what the updates are. Why do we dislike Nata? Hold on. I'm curious. Legit with thousands. Oh my god. I like that his name is Wacky Spartan. Wacky asks, why do we dislike Nata exactly? I've seen a lot of really strong feelings against Nata, and it just comes off as really strange to me. Is it because he has severe PTSD? Is it because he's the main character? Is it just a general dislike of children? I feel like the story that's told with him and his character arc is pretty competent, exacted. Not to be confused for perfection. And his commitment to people is something I just really vibe with. I don't know. It just feels really alien, seeing all of this super extreme hate for the kid as someone who actually enjoys seeing him and his character arc. So I'm just really curious. If you're wondering why this is also 28 minutes ago. What in the fuck? If you're wondering why I dislike Nata, it is because his story makes no fucking sense. I feel like he's pretty shittily written. But sure. I guess. That's a story fault, not really a Nata fault. Like, I understand what they were going for. Where he gets to learn about, like, what it means to be alive. That's pretty cool. Alright, and not just be sheltered inside, like, this like, forbidden land and not being able to see the world ever. Like, I get that. I understand what they're going for. But, like, the way he reaches that conclusion is so fucking stupid. Like, bro, he just wanted to kill people. Just let him kill, please. He's alive, bro. Don't kill him. Like, yeah, Arcvale's going fucking mental, bro. We gotta put him down. Like, what are you talking about, Nata? Please. Jesus. Goddamn. I have to pass. podcast is saved. I like haven't had to deal with a Minecraft login for quite some time because I just have it all saved. I could not be fucked. That's my opinion of Nata anyway. I do like that Nata becomes a hunter. Like, you know, once spoiler alert, once you're done with like the low rank story, like it comes back like, you know, X amount of time later, he becomes a hunter. I think that's pretty neat. That like what he gained on his little adventure through the Forbidden Lands is that he now becomes a hunter. I think that's pretty cool. Shitty hunter, rookie hunter, but like he becomes a hunter nonetheless. Gamers famously hate children. My dumbass character. Personally, I think he's fine. Is he a bit annoying at times? Sure. But he's a traumatized kid. That kind of comes with the territory. Frankly, I'm hoping that he'll become a hunter, apprentice, in the future or something like that. I thought that's what he is. That's why he's wearing like the scout armor. He have the same problem like World Handler. Who is this guy? Needlessly put himself and insert his viewpoint into dangerous situations. Sure, he learned his lesson later on, but the path that led to it is not well written. That's exactly what I said. Probably not without the English, but yeah. I personally don't hate Nata, but for me, it's way unrealistic how he goes from Arkveld, probably killed all the people I know, I hate it and want it dead, to he just wants to live, please don't ever hurt it. And from that point on, that's his entire personality until it's dead, where he goes back to normal then. Oh, where he then goes back to normal. Like, sorry, but I don't buy that anyone would make a complete 180 on their stance, going from one extreme to the other. Guzu has a point, but I feel like that's a writing issue, not a Nata issue. I mean, it's a sub-Nata issue, but the story could just be better overall, really. Like, why is it still disallowing the word? What the fuck? It's the same. Wait. Thanks for your feedback. Is it not just gonna allow the CJ? Can you say the word hacker again, pretty please, in a sentence? Because why is it not just allowing the word now? I don't understand. What the fuck? With your fingerprint. Oh, I've never. Okay, look. I'll here's my conspiracy theory. I've never actually like used fingerprint authentication for anything because I'm afraid that one day my fingerprint won't be mine anymore and I'll have to. What the fuck? Oh my god. I guess you just can't say the word hacker. I have to keep manually allowing it. But I'm afraid that like my fingerprint's gonna disappear one day somehow. I don't know how. And then I won't be able to get access to any of my shit because I don't have a fingerprint anymore. Can we just stop saying the word hacker? I gotta click the button every time. Why is hacker bad? Can I like whitelist the word hacker? That's a bad thing to say. I don't know. Is it possible? Hang on. No, I can't allow it. Hang on. Monetization. No, not monetization. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word. Moderation. Oh my god. There's like no filtering on anything. Wait. The only thing it's disallowing is stuff related to misogyny, disability, sex, and race. I think it is confusing the word hacker for cracker. Because that's the only way I can see why it would keep getting auto-modded every single goddamn time. Permitted. Yeah. Allow the word hacker for the love of God. Add. Okay. Alright, you guys can say the H word now, but be careful, Twitch doesn't like that. Not a cracker. Why does cracker not get auto-modded? What the fuck? Wait. CJ, can you use the word cracker in a derogatory sentence? Please. For science. For science. Because I think that's probably what's gonna get auto modded. Why did the Twitch? I need you to save me, all right? I'm being attacked. Just joking. Why didn't that get auto modded? What the fuck? Never. Okay, so I don't know why the word hacker is just bad. Like, I thought it was because of the word cracker. I guess that's incorrect. You're fully allowed to criticize white people on the internet if you wanted to. Apparently. But you can't call someone a hacker, though. That's bad. That must have been a really bad word for some reason. I don't know why. Hold on, I'll check if the boys are ready yet. There's a few more minutes to go. Oh, I also gotta open Epic. I forgot. I think I'll have a lightning round for another one. I'll probably do some more of these after Wonderlands. Because I didn't realize how, you know, ridiculous some of them are. Patch the Matrix. Right. Wonderlands is ready. What was up to over here? Controller disconnecting. Frenzied monsters are a joke. I'm assuming this is something that would get fixed in G rank. I feel like it would have to be. Because, like, there is a difference between frenzied monsters and quote-unquote apex monsters in 4 Ultimate. But it's interesting. Which hacking is. I guess it is. Ah! No, don't update the Epic Games launcher, please. Not now. Not now. I don't recommend playing this. Omega, 6 out of 10. If I could, I would ask for a refund. I'll not talk about the graphics. Hang on. Let me read this. Nothing graphics. The game at first looks awesome, but while you play, this fades pretty fast. First map, desert, made to look like a nice open world, but after some time turned into a boring open world, looks or claustrophobic crystal corridor. What? Get boring pretty fast. Second map, Florist. Looks okay, have a lot of places, the best of the 5. The 3 last maps for me was a deception. After some time, all the feelings you have are fighting in a cave with only different biomes. World and Rise have their cave fights. Mass. The stage, or makes, he meant to say makes, the stage look huge, even if not. Just play the Elder's Recess in World or Volcano in Rise. Geographically is big, but the feeling while fighting makes the place look different. Maps, in my opinion, got a huge downgrade from a previous title. About Bruises. I don't think English is this guy's first language. Oh, hacker should be fine now because I did end up allowing it, so it's a real word now. Oh, nice, CJ, nice. Hold up. Let me just, I want to dissect his points real fast. I totally get what he means. The last area in particular, the ruins of Wyberia, I don't particularly like because it's just the Rotten Vale again. It's literally exactly the Rotten Vale. You start at the top and like you work your way down to the bottom. It's the exact same map. It just looks like it just has a different kind of paint. There's areas in DLC. The Elder's Recess? No. Elder's Recess is part of the base game and world. The ice area is different, however. I don't know what else he's talking about. Also, the forest is pretty good. I like the forest map. I think it's nice. I think the issue he's having is monsters don't particularly go very far. Like, an example is Uthaduna, for example. It's obviously water-based, so it has to be in the water areas. So it only cycles between 3 different areas on the map. So you'd only be fighting it in, like, that particular zone in that part of the map. It doesn't go anywhere else. So a lot of the fights, if you're fighting the same monster, can feel very samey, because you're always going to be seeing the exact same area and seeing it do the exact same things. Like, it's not there's not a lot of variety when it comes to moving around and stuff like that. But again, that's I don't know, like, it depends on how you play the game, I guess, because doing that stream of just walking from like the base camp in the desert all the way to the ruins of Iberia, that felt pretty interesting, I will admit. Like, that made everything feel kind of connected in some way, that's even possible to begin with. I like that. I understand where he's coming from. I would argue that the ice area is pretty unique, I would say. I think that one's okay. It's just the ruins of Iberia I dislike. The caverns area is also pretty unique. The problem with the caverns area is you don't get to use a lot of, like, there's not a lot of environment stuff. I still haven't gotten a chance to use that old forge because nothing ever fucking goes in front of it. Like, the desert area, this is probably getting a little too meta-gamey, but the desert area does have a lot of environmental effects that you can interact with. I don't know why some of the other maps don't have a lot of that. There are environmental effects in the ruins of Iberia, but they require you to have a monster mounted and then just have them, like, go into the monster. Or, sorry, have the monster just be roughly within the vicinity of that particular environmental, like, object, and then you can make it happen, right? It's just it's a bunch of extra steps. I know, like, I know I'm just complaining about the fact that, oh, I want to be able to pull a boulder down or some shit, right? Like, and it's completely irrelevant. Like, it doesn't help that much. Like, the Uthduna stuff is Uthduna is the only monster in the game currently that you can use the falling boulders on in Area 14 in the fucking water zone. Like, it's the only one. So, like, why even have him there? All right, like, you don't need them to assist in killing Uthduna, like, in a much more, like, reasonable way. Like, it just dies as fast as anything else. Like, there's no reason to. Variety of monster pathing makes more sense because, like, I guess Kutku is a good one because Kutku does maybe I shouldn't count, like, flying monsters because that's a bit ridiculous, but Kutku at least has a unique path where it does come down to the forest and you fight it in the forest area, and then it goes up to its nest, right? And its nest is a whole different area. It's the only monster that goes to that fucking nest, by the way, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if Rathian goes up there. I think Rathian has a different nest. The spider will always go back to its, like, red nesty area, so you're always going to keep seeing that every time you fight Lalabarina. You're always going to keep seeing that. Same with Nosilla as well. It'll always try and get back to that, like, the web area, right? And you'll just, if you're just fighting the same monster to get, like, armor sets and stuff, you'll just keep seeing the same things over and over again. That was the case in other games. This game isn't sort of being advertised as an open world. At least I fucking hope it's not, because it's definitely not that open. All right, it's still the same, like, it's like Monster Hunter World if you could do everything while on an expedition. Like, if you could do everything from an expedition, like the Guiding Lands, for example. It's like if the Guiding Lands became its own game. That's actually maybe what they tried to go for. Anyway, sorry, I think the boys are ready. Hold on. All right, so what were we up to? Oh yeah, the environment looks like shit. I forgot. 6 out of 10. Moving on though, about Bruises. Would feel awesome if was implement as a new add-on and not a substitute for breaking monster parts animation. What? It's not though. What? Time for forum chilling. This guy's a bit of a specimen. I don't know where he's getting off with this one. It's not a supplement. The wound system just adds to more things. It doesn't subtract from part breaks. You still get part breaks. During battle, I don't feel I'm in a Monster Hunter game. The monster parts don't break. They just make bruises. That's complete misinformation. Totally false. They do break. You can cut tails. You don't just bruise the tail, you cut the tail. The actual endgame monster, the battle looks boring. Seeing the parts broken, for me, is what make the feeling of, all right, we are having a epic battle. You see the damage you do. but now you only see some scars and bruise marks. Even the Gormagala broken horn don't show anymore. Another downgrade. Downgrade. This is completely false, by the way. You can break the Gormagala feelers, and they do break off. They're only shown in rage mode, however. If it's not in rage mode, you will not see its broken horns. Gonna get foods. Oh, nice rocket, nice. But no, you can break horns and wings and stuff. Fun fact about this total misinformation, because I love using that word now. Something that's unique to Wilds, and it keeps throwing me off every time it happens because it's so unique, and it's not in any other game. If you break Rathian/Rathalos's wings, it will attempt to fly and then be grounded, because it can't fly due to the broken wings. It's a bit weird because it can just fly away after, you know, you're done with that little section, but it's just an interesting, like, oh look, you broke the wing and it tries to fly away and it can't do that. It does the exact same. I want to say the exact same. It does a very similar animation in Rise when you tether it to the ground using the wire bug riding thing. It does the same thing. It tries to fly away and then it's tied down so it can't. It's very similar animation, but it's used for wing breaks. So it's an upgrade, my brother in Christ. You just haven't noticed. Oh my goodness, this is a big one. I thought it was only 3 paragraphs. Battle overall. The new focus system and the improved moves in a lot of weapons was really good, but the aggro system is average to bad when going to fight tempered monsters. What do you mean? Are you fighting them solo or with a group of friends? Fighting tempered ones, more like Guardian Rathalos, Doshaguma, Arc-Veiled Magala, okay, looks more like frenetic, fast-paced, where some weapons still don't follow up too nicely. Okay, he's got a point here because the greatsword is still quite slow, alright? But most other weapons, you know, there are plenty. You can use any weapon for any monster, it's fine. It doesn't matter how fast it moves. You just gotta, you know, be good. I hate to say that, but, you know. There will be people who will criticism me, saying I'm a bad player. Oh, well, shit, he beat me to it, fuck. But fighting these monster don't feel like a hard epic battle, just a monster unleashing a frenzy continuous attacks. They've always done that. What are you talking about? I play mostly heavy bowgun, lance, bow, switch axe, and hammer. Hold up. How are you having an issue with any of these weapons? What? Bruh. Well, especially bow, dude. Come on now. Lance are awesome for now. Bow is pretty OP, I agree. But hammer, for me, got a downgrade. The new charge swings, instead the 2 battle modes was a bad move. Wait, what? Okay, he might have a point here. I haven't actually used hammer yet in Wilds, like properly. I haven't sat down with it yet. That might be the last one I get to. Wait, the new charge swings instead of the 2 battle modes? Is he talking about the different stances in Rise? That was unique to Rise. That's a Rise thing. It's always had the charge swings. What are you talking about? What? My face when there are no fucking hunter arts in the game, bro. Damn, imagine the main series having hunter arts. Switch axe was good until those monsters. Then using it started to get literally heavy. A lot of strong moves. It get a big animation cooldown. Zero sum discharge cause a huge damage. But when you do the final explosion, you get the time you get vulnerable is enormous. And because the final damage is, I think he uses the switch axe more than anything else because he has a lot to say about it. And he knows about the zero sum discharge. Compared to like the hammer's big bang attack. And because the final damage is big, normally the monster aggro switch to you when you land after the zero sum discharge. The monster are already jumping on you, and you are immobile for some seconds after landing. Okay, before going any further with that, I want to talk about the zero sum discharge real fast. So, I'm assuming this change was made in order to keep up with the speed of new monsters. So Switch Axe has an offset attack and a counter attack, which is kind of nuts. If you're good at reading the monster's pattern and stuff like that, and you know the monster's winding up for an attack, being able to offset it is insane. That's just a full counter. It knocks it down, and you get a big old opening to a follow-up. It's just guaranteed. And you can chain that like over and over again. You don't. There's no like cooldown on it, assuming you're good at timing it. The counter is equally as ridiculous. So in sword mode, at any point, just standing there, you can just activate a counter, which is like a 2-second window of just being completely invincible. I say completely invincible. You take minor damage, like basically negligible damage, and it just you just phase through anything. It's like having a shield, basically. Helps for a lot of the faster monsters that just can't swing in like wild. You just, you know, like wilds. You just counter, and then that's it. Like, and you don't follow up, by the way, because if you follow up, you get locked into an animation. You just counter again. You counter, dodge, and you're fine. I've been using the Switch Axe quite a bit now, so I understand what he's talking about. Plus, that zero-sum discharge thing, I've noticed to just not worry about it. So building up to powered sword mode is like the first thing you do. Like, just build up to powered sword mode any way you can, whether it be wound attacks or just doing sword attacks or whatever the fuck. Then doing the standing zero-sum discharge is fucking useless, because it does like not as much damage as the follow-up that you can do now, which is infinitely more powerful than the zero-sum discharge. Like, so in my opinion, and I don't know if this is true or not, in my opinion, the way to play it now is to just activate the zero-sum discharge and end it immediately. As soon as you start it, just end it immediately. Because not only do you get the blast, you get to do the follow-up, and if your sword is fully powered up, you get to do the full follow-up regardless of how long you held the zero-sum discharge for. And let's say the monster just got hit with paralysis or just got knocked down. I like how I'm turning this into my own little rant. You have enough time to do the quick zero-sum discharge and the full follow-up of the special blade attack. I forget the name of it. Which does like a ridiculous amount of damage, by the way. It's like 200 plus a burst, plus another like 200 to 300, plus another burst. And depending on the monster you're fighting, that burst is anywhere between like 60 damage to like 150 per tick. That is insane. That's absolutely insane. The main thing a bit redundant. I mean, all you do is just bonk. There's only like 2 weapons that only stun monsters, and that's it. You just hammer the head. There are still longsworders, and I'm sure a lot of people use the shock absorber decoration, but there are still longsworders that go to the head, even though it's the hammer's job to be on the head. And the longsworder shouldn't be there. But no, the new attack for the follow-up for zero-sum discharge is much better. Also, if he's having an issue getting off the zero-sum discharge, they changed it now, so you have the option to either do the standing zero-sum discharge or stick your sword into the monster and then tag along with it. You have to hold the button when you're activating it to do that, but you have the choice of doing either one. And sometimes it's better to latch onto the monster, so you're guaranteed the full zero-sum discharge burst, and depending on where you clip onto it, you might not get hit by whatever attack it's doing. So you can use that to dodge attacks. Because it's different than it was in World. In World, you had no choice. In World, you were always latched onto the monster if you were in powered sword mode. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. Anyway, shit, I lost my place. Also, with zero-sum discharge are getting heavily penalized while mounted. When a monster attacks, if you don't attach at somewhere in the back or rear of the monster, you'll probably lose a lot of health in middle of action. And a lot of health fighting Magala is a nightmare. I'm losing my brain cells here. Hold that thought for a second. Don't fucking attach to the face. Literally any other part of the body is fine except the face. Maybe if you're at the face, don't attach and just do the normal like quick explosion instead. That's fine. Because when you do zero-sum discharge, 80% you will attach to its arms. If you use for any attack, you will lose 50 to 70% of your health. If you survive after landing, you have the aggro on you and are angry Magala charging full force while you are immobile. I don't know why he keeps talking about the aggro thing, by the way. It's total like RNG if you get targeted or not. Like, I know there's the placebo that if you're doing more damage, the monster will target you. I think it's just total bullshit. Like, the monster just targets and just says like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this person, and just chases after them. Like, I think it's just total RNG. I don't think there's any like hidden meaning behind it. Okay, for monsters like Jindahad that specifically have aggro lines for people that take aggro, yeah, I think that's a different concept. Okay. -1 brain cell. I was like, oh, I was totally fine not reading Steam discussions. Now I'm back into it again. This is what I get hit with. Playing heavy bowgun, got tired. Jumped on a quest with already 15 minutes of play, started fighting, got Magala aggro in an instant. The next 7 attacks are focused on me. You have a motherfucking shield, bro. You can guard. Every heavy bowgun has a shield on it now, which auto guards. Plus, you have a way to activate offensive guard with just button activating shield. Like, if you have aggro, that's great, bro. That's great. Don't stop. Just stop shooting. All right, you can stop. Anyway, the monster catalog. None got me the same vibe as Nergigante, Magnamalo, Malzeno. I mean, fucking Malzeno and Nergigante are, you know, a few exceptions. Magnamalo, though, I would say the new guy, Arkvale, is pretty close to Magnamalo. Malzeno is a bit of a, you know, that's a bit of an exception, all right? They're both Elder Dragons, and he's not considered an Elder Dragon technically. The generic Guardian to increase roster was a boring move. Would be alright, not seeing any more Guardian. Maybe also, I think this guy might be in for a rude awakening, because I feel like there's going to be more Guardian monsters as like Wilds' way to sort of increase the roster while also keeping things fresh. Because the Guardians aren't too different from their normal counterparts. The only difference is their effect with wounds and their like extra bonus AoE attacks. That's about it. Maybe also the monster, maybe also the monster look boring because they don't have transformed / amped looks in middle of battle like Nergigante spikes and Magnamalo blades. Also, the lack of visual broken parts. The bruises marks are a little visible. I will admit with him, I don't think the wound attacks, he's saying bruises. I don't think the wound attacks are visible enough. I know you can see it if you're looking for them. They make a noise, they have a visual effect when they break, so you can like actually see it. But using I wish they would just glow all the time. Like, I wish that was a setting you could turn on. Because if you're using a gunner weapon, because you're always in aim mode all the time, you will always know when a wound is available because you can see it from a fucking mile away. But if you're a blade master, you can't tell unless you're looking for it. There was a fight I had a while ago where I was like, oh yeah, just destroying this Lullaby Arena, and then like I'd click L for like a fraction of a second, and then it's like, oh shit, it's like covered in wounds. What the fuck? Because yeah, for some of the big main bellies of a monster, you can see if it's got a wound, right? But for the legs of like Nursilla and Lullabarina, like the legs, the spindly little tiny legs, you can't see if there's a wound. Like, that's tiny as fuck. And so it definitely makes gunner weapons a little bit more I don't want to say better, but like you'll have an easier time with a gunner weapon if I'm being totally honest with you. Just because like you can flinch spam monsters, and it's, you know, the bow in particular, it's a bit cheesy. But also they do like, I don't know why he's combining the fucking... Arkvale does have a powered up amped state. I don't know if he's noticed when the fucking chains like come out and he gets like crazy like dragon element bullshit, and there's like a big fucking supernova that happens. I don't know if he's noticed that. Maybe that's just weird, alright? I don't know if he's noticed the different states for Uthduna that have like different forms. I don't know if he's noticed that New Udra has like an on fire version versus a not on fire version. I don't know if he's aware of this, that the octopuses have different states of being. I don't know if he's, judging by the fact he hasn't noticed that you can break parts, I don't think he's noticed. Anyway, While today for me, day 21/03/2025, the worst part of all is the constant disconnection. This, I haven't had an issue with this from playing on PlayStation, by the way, but I think PC does have this issue. Which, the big error message just make my blood boil. Only this really get me angry. Not only is constant, not only is constant the message show up, making you lose any control in middle a monster combo attack, getting you carted because of a program error. I haven't experienced this in Wilds, but I have experienced this in older Monster Hunter games. Yes, having that pop up mid combat, it's not fun. I agree with you there. While it lost connection, you can't connect, or people can't connect at you until the end of the mission, forcing you to play with NPC helpers mostly of the time. Where the fuck it go? Seriously, before any update, just Danem fix this connection issue. It make anyone lose will to play. It make anyone lose will to play when you get this problem every mission. For now, better playing World/Rise than Wild. The game is too boring compared to the other two. I won't recommend playing this game for now. Okay, got there in the end. Understandable. It is a tough sell for me as well, because like until there's more updates and a little bit more content, there isn't much to do at endgame. Because like all you do is farm decorations, and it doesn't take that long to get all the decorations, by the way. I pretty much have all of them now, at least all the ones I would ever need. That's it. And then like you just farm for Ardian weapons and make Ardian weapons, and I guess if you really wanted to, you can min-max the Ardian weapons to have like a perfect god roll. Outside of that, that's it. That's your whole, that's end game. There's nothing more. 10,000% accurate. What is this? Who is this guy? Hey, I don't know if you know this, but there's a feature on Steam that lets you post reviews directly to the store page, so that a potential buyer is more likely to see before making a purchase. Oh, I guess this is kind of a review, I suppose. I don't really get why people complain about every little thing in this game. It's not like this, it's not like that. Well, of course, it's a new game. Why do you want the same game over and over again? To me, the world of Wilds feels much more alive and looks amazing. Alone, the weather changes in the forest. When the rain starts and everything gets flooded, it makes World's forest look like nothing. You also can't play 90 hours and say, I'd return it. That's like going to a restaurant, ordering food, eating the entire meal, and then try to give it back. Rosalina's got a point. I will also say, I do like the... I know it's a time-consuming thing, and it's one of those... I'm sure some people probably have complained about it. It's one of those weird things where it's like, why is it a feature in the game? I personally like the seasons aspect and the night and day like transitioning system. Like that forecast that shows you what monsters are going to appear when. I like that. That's really good. Keep doing that. Because like, that's about as close as you're going to get to some of the older Monster Hunter style games. Like, remember the Moga forecast that told you what was in Moga Woods at certain times of the day? Oh man, that's good stuff. Monster Hunter DOS having an actual seasons aspect, that's good stuff. I like that. Who asked me to sit down? Oh damn, Kiririn, holy shit. Oh, what was the guy's name again? Oh my, oh fuck, he's not done. He's not done. We don't want the same game over and over. We want our favorite game to get improved. When we feel the game got more cons than pros, we lose the will to play. This game, like, Wilds is definitely an improvement. Like, gameplay-wise, I think it's an improvement for sure. Content-wise, it's a hard say. Because if you were to compare base Monster Hunter World to base Monster Hunter Wilds, I would say Wilds is better. There's definitely more to do, but Worlds had a bit of a more artificial end game because it's still, again, decoration drop rate still the same. However, in Monster Hunter Worlds, it was far more egregious to get decorations you need, and there were certain decorations you needed. Now, it wasn't fun. in Wilds, it is so easy to just get like a gazillion decorations and you're done. Like, that's it. Because there's only a limited finite amount of like, well, I guess I just got lucky, I suppose, but I guess if you wanted to get stuff like weakness exploit decos, that might be kind of hard to like get a bunch of those, but it really doesn't take that long. Oh yeah, having 90 hour is still little, but is exactly I have played enough to get some feel. If I just played 2 hours and said the game is horrible, in a Monster Hunter game will just not be true. You need to play a lot, and enough to analyze and post opinion. He's got a point. I have over 100 hours now, and I disagree with a lot of the things he said. He's still going. Bro, he's still going. With the forest map, I agree with you. As I said in my review, this map is the only one where I feel more immersive, but the others unfortunately didn't give me the same feeling. I guess he's got a point. It's hard to tell the season changing in the whatchamacallit, the ruins of Iberia, because there isn't really like a drastic environmental change. There should be. Don't get me wrong, there should be. There isn't though. Playing World and Rise, which have different mechanics, gave me a good feeling of what Monster Hunter combat system is, and I rarely liked then. But here in Wilds, the combat didn't give me the good combat feeling. Actually made me feel more I was playing a hack and slash game than a tactical action combat this game normally give. Tactical action combat? What fucking game are you playing? That died with Monster Hunter World. They don't do that anymore. They stopped that. Wait, it is a hack and slash. The last 3 entries have just been hack and slash games. What are you talking about? We've all been that. It's more accessible. It's absolutely more accessible. Like, with each iteration that comes out, like I keep saying like, oh yeah, if you want to get into Monster Hunter, this is the one to do it. And I was like, this is the one to do it. I wouldn't say that with Rise. I would say Rise might take a little bit more experience, like a know-hows of Monster Hunter before getting into the depths of it. But like, if you were to start with Worlds or Wilds, I would pick Wilds. Okay, Wilds is much better. But no, a lot of the tactical like movement positioning and like deliberate attack stuff, all the Dark Souls 1 had a very good example of this, where like you have to have a lot of commitment with your moves and stuff to not leave any openings, or to wait for openings rather, and then take advantage of that. That's what the old Monster Hunter style was like, but ever since Monster Hunter World onwards, it's just been like you just throw shit at the wall and then you just play. Like, it's just a boss fight simulator. There's nothing more advanced than that. Was so good. Oh man, Rocket. Wilds is basically all of that. Like, the whole map, you can just traverse it all on foot. It's just a big playground. Granted, there are certain instances where the game, or the world, the levels might, I say levels, the maps might feel a little too big. Right, that's another complaint. This guy did not make that complaint. I feel like he should have though. If you're having fun with the game, good for you. I really wanted to have the same fun, but the game didn't deliver it for me. Exactly, because I played the other title. I was really happy to play this, but this gave me the same feeling when I play Pokemon nowadays. Instead of improve with new things, they replaced some good things. Thinks? I understand if he's talking about Rise, like, I would axe Rise from this conversation. Rise is like a spin-off game, and each iteration of Monster Hunter has its own spin-off game. Like, Monster Hunter 4 had Generations. Monster Hunter World had fucking Rise. Monster Hunter 6 Wilds is gonna have another spin-off game probably in 2 years from now. Like, 2 years is a bit of an under. Let me say like 4 years, okay? Give it 4 years. Because there'll be like a year of title updates, then there'll be an announcement for G rank, then there'll be like another year of fucking title updates, and then there'll be an announcement for another game. Stories, true. Stories is also technically a Monster Hunter game. Technically. That's got some tactical gameplay in it. I posted there and posted here too, since people come here to talk more than there. Oh, that's wonderful. World and Rise are also hack and slash games. Thank you, Rosalina. They are. Well, it's just more fluid and improved in every way. Especially the new moves are super cool. I'm glad they move forward and do not recreate the same game again and again. If you want the world combat back, just don't press the focus button. Rosalina's got a point. My brother in Christ, I scroll down and it's a fucking monolith. Jesus Christ. Monster Hunter is not a hack and slash. Hack and slash are games of button mash. Fuck. Hack and slash are games of button smash, fast-paced battles. Monster Hunter are strategy, position, and action. No, that changed with Monster Hunter World. I've already come to terms with the fact that Monster Hunter is never going to go back to the way it was. As much as I loved Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and all of the prior games in the series, it'll never, ever go back to that. So if you want those, you go back and play them. They're still there. They're emulators. Go play 4 Ultimate, all right? They are going to be fast-paced boss fight hack and slash simulator games. They're never going to return to the tactical commitment to your action style games anymore. You can roll out of literally everything. Like, no commitment to your moves. Oh my god, Rocket, that's a good one. While I'm adding it. If you play Monster Hunter as a hack and slash, you will get carded continuously. No, that's how you... What? Does he mean if you just like drop in and just mash buttons without thinking? Bruh. Alright, I think it should be there. I don't know, it didn't pop up in chat, but I've accepted it. Monster Hunter is more like Dark Souls games, is tactical combat. Alright, Omega, let me hold you right there. Dark Souls 3, how tactical is Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring? Okay, like on a fundamental level. Because I wouldn't consider, you know, Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring to be like, or like, you know, I'm gonna stick with that, like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring. Like, I don't think those are very tactical, so to speak. If a potato like me can beat Dark Souls 3, it's fine. Dark Souls 1 is a different story though, because you have to commit to your actions in Dark Souls 1. Oh my god, Rocket. I have seen this meme before, it's pretty good. If you just try to hack and slash in Souls game, you will be in a world of pain. I mean, you can if you wanted to. Like, what? I'm not saying the new combat system is bad. The focus mode are really good, and the new moves are too. And the new moves too are good. Since I'm a Lance main, I would believe if you're a Switch Axe main. I don't know if you didn't say anything about Lance. You said nothing about Lance. You gave me a full in-depth tutorial on the fucking Switch Axe, but didn't say shit about the Lance. What the fuck? Eats your input. You know what's funny about that, Rocket? Old Monster Hunter games used to eat your input as well. Good stuff. Oh my god, hang on. Lance Main. The upgrade they did make me happy, but with Switch Axe, they are not that good. Especially on Tempered Monster, where they attack real fast continuously for weapons with low mobility and high... That's why they give you counters and offsets! And low defense makes a harder battle than originally. For example, Greatsword, not only does it have an offset, it has a perfect guard as well. That perfect guard is fucking phenomenal, by the way. You just get to stand your ground and have a follow-up afterwards. If you choose to follow up, you don't have to. But it just lets you, like, tank through literally anything. It's very handy. Especially, you know, when he's saying here the monster just goes absolutely apeshit, which does happen. That's why they give you tools to stop that from happening. Or at least survive it. What I'm not good with is the battle progression. Wilds give the feeling of a hack and slash genre because you don't really need to be tactical to fight the monsters there. You don't need to be tactical in any of the other games either. The game looks more fluid because it turned a fast-paced battle, not a tactical one. The other title forced you to learn, adapt, counter, and move as the monster move. So, hold on. If he said this about like 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate and Generations, I'd believe him. 100%. That's how they worked in the older games. Absolutely. Like, not from Worlds onwards though. Like, not from Worlds onwards. Like, for example, in Rise, it had wire falling, where you could just dodge out of a fall animation. Granted, you could die if you do that because it removes your iframes, but you don't have to give a shit. Like, you could just keep swinging if you wanted to. Anyway, is like a samurai duel, where you need to learn where and when to attack. But in Wilds, the monsters looks like they are in frenzy and just attack combo non-stop most of the time. I've noticed a bit of an inconsistency with what he's saying here, because he's arguing that the game is too fast-paced and you're not given like an opportunity to attack. But the problem is, if you actually wait and look and do your tactical nonsense, you know, you'll have an opening. You always do. What? On the back end, if you're curious, monsters do have a stamina bar, so they can only chain together so many attacks before they have to stop. So if you really wanted to play this like an old school Monster Hunter game, you can. Alright. You just need to put your weapon away and wait for them to stop doing the combo. But never mind. That involves getting good. Think if you change the core mechanic, where make a game its own on-genre, so it stopped being it. Monster Hunter is a tactical, even a little clunk, within its combat environment. This is what makes Monster Hunter a different game. But when you remove the unique feeling this game gives, it starts being unique and start being generic. Yeah, that's what happened with Monster Hunter World. What are you talking about? Like, I would believe if this is a review for Monster Hunter World, alright? We want the game to be improved and not remodeled. What Wilds gave is a remodel, removing some of the core of its own mechanic. But most of it remodel removed the feeling you have on a Monster Hunter game. And I'm not talking about the new moves, which is improve. We wanted. You know the other person, that Gardevoir person, what was their name? I think it was Gardevoir. I hope they're reading this too. I hope they're reading all of this. Because I fucking can't, actually. But with the remove system, where you can see part Oz monster broken placed with just sprite small scars, making the monster attack faster, then making them more smart to look like they are strong. I wanna dissect something real fast. So he praised Malzeno earlier for looking really cool. What does he think of Primordial Malzeno? Just like as a fight, just as a normal fight in a Monster Hunter game, in a tactical Monster Hunter game. Because, just saying, that is probably one of the fastest attacking monsters I've ever seen. Such an annoyance. Not a problem, because Hunting Horn just kind of... Rise Hunting Horn is fucked, by the way. It's like the bow in Wilds. It's absolutely insane. But, it's probably the most ridiculous fight I've seen in a Monster Hunter game because of how fast it is. That shit... He's on crack, like, throughout the whole fight. And, like, you're telling me they're faster in Wilds? Bro, they're slowed the fuck down. Like, way easier to deal with. Overall, Wilds is way easier. Good. Finally, an accurate statement, thank God. I didn't even need good armor, weapon, even decoration to beat endgame monsters. This is true. This game don't give the feel of challenge. The others give. I mean, the game's also not done yet. There's no G rank either. If you say we want World/Rise game, that's a no. We want a Monster Hunter game we love some decades ago until now. They'll never give you one. They've moved on from that. Almost every title gives the feeling of unique challenge and difficult. We want that feeling improved and not replaced. Like I said, is like Pokemon until Generation 4. Monster Hunter was like Pokemon until Generation Black and White. Hold up, I need a second to think. What the fuck? It's like Pokemon up until Generation 4. Monster Hunter was like Pokemon up until Generation Black and White. Black and White is Gen 5. What? I'm just gonna move on. Then come World with new mechanics, keeping old ones alive. Like Pokemon X and Y with Mega Evolution. Then come Rise. He seems to really like Pokemon, by the way. Then come Rise with Silk Bug, which was a new mechanic, but still keep the core untouched. Like Pokemon Sun and Moon with Z moves. Like, it doesn't. They're all shit games, by the way. Like Sun and Moon, X and Y. Fucking Christ. Are you gonna say this one's like Pokemon Sword and Shield? And kept the Mega Evos together. But then Wilds come with a new mechanic, the Focal and Bruises Focal, which is good, but the bad move is it replaced other things we loved seeing in the game, like the downfall of Pokemon after Sword and Shield. After Sword and Shield? Where the new new mechanic but removed the Mega Evo Z move. Fucking I'm dying. I'm actually dying. The thing is, if you remove the parts we love in the game, and is what it make the game unique, we will lose the feel of the core game. This is what is happening now with Wilds. The game is not bad. It's pretty good. But we wanted an improved Monster Hunter, not a remodel Monster Hunter. Again, if this was a complaint about Monster Hunter World, it fit right in. The problem is we're past that now. It's been several years since World came out. So like, this is just, you're just screaming into the void. This is my feeling. This is not just a player opinion. I don't feel like playing a genuine Monster Hunter in Wilds. Okay. Like I scroll down and it keeps going. Like, there's still more. If you are happy playing it, that's really good, and I support you to continue playing. Title: who came from a long title lineage. The new game's focus was not on the The new game's focus was not the new players. It is the old players who wait year after year for his favorite title launch a new game. And if the new title fails to give a good playing feeling we search, they lose the long-term fans, making people to it abandon. Okay, look, like out of all the fucking Steam discussions to come back to, I come back to this one, and I'm like just losing my fucking brain cells by the dozens. Like they're all fucking piling out of me. Holy shit. I know what he's talking about because I felt this way when Monster Hunter World came out. Because it was like such a total redesign. The weapon designs were fucking garbage. The fucking it wasn't like the weapons were too fluid. There was no commitment anymore. You could just run around while drinking a potion. Like there was so much like quality of life stuff, and like the gathering stuff is just non-existent. The quest system was so ridiculous. There was no hub quests. Like, it was all a fucking, just a garbo experience, at least in my opinion, until eventually I learned to accept it. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Once you accept the new style of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fine. Like, there's no issue. And I'm already past the point where like, yeah, they're not going to go back to the old style of Monster Hunter. It's not going to happen. Like, it's too successful of a franchise now. They've modernized it, and I don't mean modernized it in the way of like, oh shit, it's woke now. I mean modernize it as in like the gameplay has upgraded itself to keep up with how modern games are in the current world, like in the current day and age, which is a good thing. And it's crazy to see that evolution. If you look back through the history of Monster Hunter, like the way the games keep progressing up until modern day is crazy. Like, they've done such a good job at just like keeping it fresh, I suppose. Because if, and I mean like wholeheartedly, if a game like, oh, I don't know, let's say Monster Hunter Frontier came out today, I don't think people would play it as much. I don't think you'd lose off the new players, and you only keep the hardcore dedicated players, and that's a lot less players. It's the other way around for Wilds and World and Rise. Well, maybe not so much Rise. No, I'd include Rise as well. The only reason why I wouldn't include Rise is because it's technically like, it's like a Switch game, and like, you know, it didn't come to PC for a while. So like, you know. Anyway, sorry, point is, if you look around in the board of a lot of players think the same. Wilds is not a brutal, infamous case like what happened with Dragon Age, but wow, I didn't expect Dragon Age to get referenced. But this game failed to give the emotion we feel of a real Monster Hunter game. Hold up, when was this posted again? I kind of forgot. 8 hours ago. Oof. I'm not saying for people to stop playing it. I'm saying I not have a good feeling about this game. If you like, go and play for your heart's contents. But for me, it fails to give me the will to keep playing like older generation. If you fail to see that what I'm saying is that, the game is not bad. It is really good. But, for me, is not a Monster Hunter game. Is just a half Monster Hunter game. Again, that's how I feel about some of the older, like, well, I say older, World, right? Because it removed the fucking gathering bullshit and stuff like that. Like, all of the core aspects that built up that niche genre of Monster Hunter, the monster survival aspect, is gone. It just doesn't exist anymore, and it never will. Like, each game keeps shaving off more of the tedious stuff and just adding in more like quality of life. Subjective. It's a very subjective review. I mean, like, I would love to get a chance to critique this guy about the bruise system, quote-unquote bruise system. Like, no one's corrected him yet, by the way. I'm waiting for it. I like it. It's a solid 8 out of 10 game, and looking forward to becoming a 9 out of 10 with good updates. Oh, cool. I'd say that's accurate. Great example why you should avoid sloppy broken launches. It's possible Steam would give you a refund past the 2 hours if you want to try. Ooh, maybe. I forgot what this is in reference to. Right, cool story, bro. No one cares. Move on. Who the fuck? Oh my god. Anyone else re-downloading Rise 1 or Trophy Farm? Oh man, I don't want to Trophy Farm in that. No man, thanks. Please, I don't want to do that. There's just too much wrong with this game to enjoy it long term. Again, the PC experience must be fucking wild. Holy fuck. Like, I also don't know if they're talking about World and Rise in their post-game package. Because if you're talking about like Iceborne and Sunbreak, yeah, of course they're gonna be more enjoyable because you're gonna have the aspects of Sunbreak and Iceborne in the base game. Like, all the movesets and stuff that got added post-launch are in the game. Oh, well, that answers my question. I disagree with this statement, though. Having it rough. Like, I have seen some more funny screenshots of triangle monsters. It's like Geometry Wars. No, Kage, please, you gotta read it. It's really good. Trust me. Trust me. Play fail guy. Oh my god. This is 27 minutes ago? Dude, this Karen guy really doesn't like Monster Hunter Wilds. What the fuck? Bro, please. Is there anything new? Oh my god, there is more stuff. Holy shit. That's frame drops. Yeah, it does stutter a lot on PC. Like, it's It's not a good port. Unless you have like a supercomputer. And even then, it can still crash. Like, I don't know why they decided to launch them both at the same time. Because I now understand why Monster Hunter World was a console launch and then eventually moved to PC like a year later. I understand why there was that big time gap. Because they're bad. They're bad at making like PC games. It's just Capcom. It's just a Capcom thing. Because I heard Street Fighter had the same issue as well when that launched on PC. The other games at least make it. Wait, what's this in reference to? Hold that shell. The other games at least make it same multiple armor set situations. Oh, right. You can still make like a gathering set, but it's completely useless. In Wilds, that's pretty shit. As long as Wally version of Monster Hunter. Oof. Oh my god. I was there with Monster Hunter World. Again, it's so weird that there are two games now with MHW as the abbreviation. And Monster Hunter Rise were launched, and I remember everything. People who said all the possible worst words about them. Don't pretend something else. Now they are praised and considered good games. Why? Because they are games out since years, and you are confronting a game out since 1 month with ones out many years ago. Very silly. The game has issue? Yes. Give it time, as we did for the previous ones. It's a fair point. Fair point. I was there for the launches of Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, plus the launches of Monster Hunter 1 PS2, Monster Hunter wait, it's not Frontier, this is like, I want to say Freedom Unite. I don't know why there's a 2. Is it Freedom 2? Monster Hunter Tri plus 3U portable third modded PSP copy, Monster Hunter 4 and 4 Ultimate, Generations and Generations Ultimate, despite World's launch state and Rise not having a good ending, they were still a lot more enjoyable than Wilds. Wilds is only Monster Hunter title I did not enjoy, or is the only Monster. Will it be good eventually? Hopefully, but that isn't the point. I don't buy play games for them to eventually be good. I don't think it's acceptable to release games in this state, and the wait for it to be fixed / wait for G / master rank crowd doesn't make any sense to me. Why defend this practice when it is not in your best interest as a gamer? I mean, there's still title updates to come. Like the game is inevitably going to be better when G rank comes out, because that's just how it always is. They take feedback from what the players have experienced, like up until, you know, a year or so, and then they implement all of those changes into G rank. They did it with every single other game in the entire franchise. They've done it, and they're gonna do it again. They keep doing it, and it always delivers every time. Like, I don't think there's ever been an instance where they've released the ultimate package or the G rank expansion and it hasn't delivered. I don't know if that's ever been a case. So, like, I have full faith. Frank, welcome to the stream as well. Thank God this train is done. I don't know if I want to read it. Has this guy got any more posts, or is this his only post ever made ever? He only... Oh, no. There's other stuff. Okay. English was not his first language. I understand. Okay. Yo, Helldivers? Fair enough. I can see the Helldivers. It's sort of like a Monster Hunter-ish kind of game. Kinda. You team up with like a group of 4 and whatnot. RNG is terrible. Genuinely about to give up trying to get my crit status KO decoration. Oh my god. I'm so glad I got the Pierce deco, because I don't want to be in this guy's position right now. I know, like, there's a desire to min-max, right? I'm probably not too concerned with like getting every single decoration in the game. I know there's a list of every single possible decoration in the entire game. I don't see a reason for it necessarily, because if they're gonna, and I hope they don't do this, I really hope they don't do this, but I have a feeling they're gonna do the same Monster Hunter Rise bullshit, where they just introduce a new melding method, like well months after launch. Like, for example, you can meld all tier 1 decorations and all tier 2 decorations. Good. You can't meld all tier 3 decorations, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's a future update. 2 great builds. That's all you really need. Like, even just set-wise, like, you can make like an all-round set that just works for most weapons, and then have one that works for like... Also, wait, what the hell? It's 500 posts on this one. Melding a world. That was one of the things I really disliked the most, is like, not only do they have the egregious decoration drop rate system, but you also couldn't meld all of the decorations. You can only meld like the survival skill decorations. You couldn't do like, you couldn't get attack or critical eye or anything like that from melding, and that is total bullshit. You should be able to. I'm glad that Wilds fixed that. I think I don't mind the decoration drop rate bullshit system as much, because that you can do that. You can just meld every decoration in the game, provided it's tier 1 or tier 2. So you only have to worry about getting the tier 3s, which isn't even that hard. People say Wilds is too easy. Wait, hold up. What do you mean? The game is for babies. What are you talking about? What do you mean? People who say Wilds is too easy. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to get comfy. Aside from the most complained thing being performance, I'm seeing quite a few complaints about Monster Hunter Wilds being too easy. To me, I just find this hilarious. The same people complaining about Wilds being too easy are the same people who started in Monster Hunter World. Sorry, World. Monster Hunter World, where the game was streamlined to be easier in general and attract new players, which it did, and became very successful. If your argument is that older games were harder, that just makes us even more redundant. Like, the game is easier than older games anyway. I remember if anybody complained about how World became too easy compared to previous Monster Hunters, you always met with a response where those changes made the game better, because quality of life improvement. I could list a ton of things changed to make Monster Hunter World easier compared to previous Monster Hunters. Did you need to? Did you have to do this? No longer needed to paintball and losing track of the monster. Yes. Also, the scout flies have been like nerfed. They don't fucking give you whiplash. Whoops. Faster animation for traps, placement, and use of items like potions, whetstones, etc. You were less likely to get interrupted and punished for using the item. Also, you can pick up traps, by the way, which is huge. You don't have to waste traps anymore. Infinite whetstones. That was in World. Wait, is he talking about World or is he talking about Wilds? Oh, he's talking about World. Okay, alright, yeah, fair. This isn't about Wilds. Auto crafting. Gathering points respawning on a hunt. Yep. Potions no longer eating blood mushrooms. Yep. Damage numbers. Yep. Bowgun indicator. Optimal distance. Yep. Same damage. Truffles. Yep. Getting a campus resupply. Yep. I could go on for a while. Point being, there were a ton of things that, in my opinion, made Monster Hunter World easy compared to older Monster Hunters. Yet I hear people complain about Wilds being easier than the first Monster Hunter, which is usually Monster Hunter World or Rise. Okay, yes, like, I don't think you can disagree with this, because yes, it is easier than Monster Hunter World, and World is easier than all the previous Monster Hunter games. So yes, it's easier. It's like, what are you trying to prove? That it is easier? Like, yes, it is. Everybody knows that by now, I'd assume. Like, what? Okay, yeah, Sacred Auto Movement makes the game easier, yeah. But technically, it's a quality of life improvement, if you think about it. Just like how you don't have to paintball the monster. I mean, the feature was also in the past 2 games as well. You had the Tail Rider system, and you had the Palamute. Again, Palamute didn't auto-move, but The Tail Raiders did. They do auto move in World. Just like how you don't have to paintball a monster and potentially lose track of it. And it gets to eat, sleep, recovering health and stamina while you couldn't find it. So did being able to fast travel to campsites to keep up with monsters leaving a zone in World. You couldn't do that in older Monster Hunters. I just feel like people who started in World are now starting to understand what veterans who played before World were saying about World now in Wilds. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I think a lot of complaints are probably coming from the fact that since Wilds does not have the expansion yet, which usually includes more difficult monsters, people are just bored and wanting the expansion ASAP, and think complaining will make it arrive faster. Wait, really? I haven't seen this. This is the first time I've ever looked at the Steam discussions for Monster Hunter Wild, so I didn't know that was a point of contention. These are my thoughts coming from someone who started in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Oh, that's the... okay. And even then, I know Monster Hunter 2 was harder, like not being able to send items to your box at the end of a quest. Everything you brought back had to fit in your item pouch, or having seasons, so where some things you couldn't get if you were in the wrong season. Anyway, let's try to keep this civil. I'm sorry if I came off a certain way above. I know what you think, as well as what Monster Hunter you started in. Holy shit. Who was the guy again? Sad Blueberry.
Sorry, but this is my first Monster Hunter game. The game is really easy, and yes, I've done high rank. Don't get me wrong, the game is fun, but I can't help but feel I'm just bullying monsters. It's not even these mechanics from previous titles you talk about. The monster fights are kinda sad with how little chance the monsters get to fight back. I hope it gets addressed sooner rather than later.
I feel like they will do something, because Monster Hunter World, base world, further into its lifespan got arc-tempered monsters. Arc-tempered monsters were in base world, not in Iceborne straight away. I think they started in base world, and then they were also in Iceborne as well. I'm like 90% sure. I'm like 99% sure. Started with try. I think this is the easiest Monster Hunter yet. Understandable. Yep. There's be some full boomer level gaslighting here. You made a list of quality of life changes and act as if that has an effect on gameplay difficulty. It kind of does though. Like, it's your time consumption. Time spent in the game. Difficulty getting your armor sets and weapons and everything like that. You need to fight more monsters in older games. No, it doesn't. As all it does is just add tedious chores to do. Yeah, which take up time and effort. Sure, it was cool. Sure, it was cool to do for a bit, but it got repetitive. Having to keep up stock on all these items, there's a reason why they did away with paintballs and made items like Whetstone's Infinite. If you want to know the main reason why people think this is easy as redacted, then go to multiplayer, where you see groups of people exploit damage parts to infinitely stunlock a monster and then gangbang it to death. Focus mode is downright broken. I mean, I think the bow is also just straight up broken. Legend Gamer, welcome to the stream as well. Never made it a low rank. Oh man, I would love to see the stats on the back end of that. Holy shit. I do want to get better at offsets though, because I do think that's a really cool mechanic. Silent World. It's just no Monster Hunter anymore. Yeah, this is what the other guy was complaining about. That guy who couldn't speak English properly. Don't make it easier. Oh, my sweet summer child, you have no idea how much more was changed than just that. Like, holy shit. Oh, he came back. Don't get me wrong, I do agree that the game is easy. Oh my fucking Christ. The game is easier, but that's how I felt about Monster Hunter World as well. That I would love to see Sad Blueberry and that other guy get into like a conversation with each other, because holy shit. Because that other guy, the Omega guy, is having difficulty with like Tempered Gormagala. And like I would love to see him talk with Sad Blueberry about this. Yeah, Fledgling, it is kind of interesting. Like, I know. I'm holding out for the title update. I'm waiting for Mizu. All right, Mizu's gonna be the savior. I don't think it's gonna fucking change shit, but like, it probably won't get any more difficult or any more crazier until they introduce like sieges again, which I think they might do if they're adding a gathering hub. They're gonna bring back like something Cove adjacent, I would assume, and I feel like that's where things might get a little bit more interesting. Until then, though, nothing. I mean, Worlds didn't launch with fucking Worlds didn't have tempered monsters in the base. I think those were added later, I think. Witcher events. Oh, true. There is also the crossovers they could have as well. Mizu's bubbles. Oh, that'd be funny. There's gonna be a lot of TikToks about that, I'm sure. Because I think Rise's implementation of the status effect was pretty cool. It was different. Because I obviously saw it a shitload in Generations, but Rise's take on the bubble mechanic, it was like a different weird slippy slidey animation. I'm assuming they're going to reuse that one again. Or make it even more slippy. Who knows? Who knows? Hey, it's this guy again. Yeah. I would love to know what Kiririn's first fucking Monster Hunter ever was. Stop using focus mode. That doesn't change the fact. Like, you can do hunts without breaking any wounds. Well, sorry. Without doing wound attacks, I should say. Like, wound attacks aren't the problem, alright? Like, you can still just have as much of an easy time with monsters with just ignoring focus mode. It doesn't change anything. I wonder if he responded to that guy. Yeah, hit this one. Wait. Easier than Wilds? None of them are easier than Wilds. I would say Wilds is by far the easiest. Like, crazy. It's way too easy. Which is not a problem. It's still fun, but it is easy. I've played multiplayer before. Yes, it is easy. I mean, you could play hunts in single player too. Just FYI. I play solo and no Palico in World. Rise and Wild, and don't complain about the game being too easy. Also, isn't that... Oh yeah. I need to double check if your Palico gets removed. If you put your Palico on standby, if they leave when a quest begins, because they're with you like while just running around. But if you're playing solo, I don't know if the Palico like stays with you or not. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, fletching. That's the I can't imagine that comparison, because like, even if you were to go back and play Monster Hunter Worlds just through high rank, you will still have the same Iceborne moveset. Like, Iceborne added stuff to the base game of Worlds now. Like, same with Sunbreak and Rise. Like, you'd still get stuff. Like, it's just a bit ridiculous. Because the only way I can see it is if you compare base World before any updates, before any title updates, to Wilds. I would say Wilds is the better game with no title updates. Flat out nothing. Because World had nothing to do. Like, once you beat the game, once you beat the story and whatever, that's it. It's just farm decos. That's about it. That's all you could do. Granted, that's not really any different in Wilds, but there's the ironing weapons which give you something to focus on at least. So there's stuff. There's stuff to do. Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. It's no anomaly bullshit. I would, as much as I dislike the whole anomaly farming, getting all those fucking levels and shit for the anomaly ranks in Rise, I would prefer if that was in the game at launch. Like, if that was at the, that was there at the beginning, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. So now that it's not there, I hope they don't add it randomly, like in a post-launch title update. I fucking hope not. Also, the game is easy as well in Monster Hunter Worlds multiplayer. Monsters die so fast in Worlds multiplayer, from my experience too. Wilds is no exception, even if Wilds is faster than Worlds. Also, with the quality of life improvements, a sacred walking you to the monster is a quality of life improvement, in my opinion. Because now you don't gotta do boring stuff like running to the monster, or fast traveling there. You let the sacred take you to the monster, so you can continue fighting it. This is kind of what people nowadays want. A monster fighter, not a monster hunter. That was the case with World as well. They took out the hunting aspect. That's fair, fledgling. I use this sort of shit a lot early game. I like the changes to it. I think it's really good now. It feels nice. It feels fluid. I like the perfect guarding. That is fun stuff. Directions. Okay, let me go back. The game was just so easy. Also, this stuff is getting updated so fucking fast. Holy shit. I've been screwed. How? Oh, because right. Crap. I said clown farming for a minute. Oh, bro. I kind of actually do need this. Fuck. I'm not gonna load up Monster Hunter Wilds right now and play it. Oh, shit. Hang on. Oh. It was like an hour ago. I'm not gonna do it. It's pretty easy in Wilds. It is. I'm very glad you can just... And I know Sadberry is probably gonna say something about this, but like, I'm very glad that you can use the binoculars to see if it's worth hunting a monster or not. That is a huge quality of life change, and I'm really glad about that one. Because now it actually makes getting the crown achievement feasible and not just like total nonsense. They changed it in Wilds. My goodness. Speaking of Heartbreaker, where was that guy? This guy who doesn't seem to notice part breaks. Poor guy. I hope somebody tells him. This thing is insane. It also cuts out the needing to look up a video on like how big is a gold crown and how do you measure if it's a gold crown by putting your hunter side by side the monster. It cuts that out as well. Like, it also gives the binoculars a use. I probably use the binoculars more than any other item in the game at this point. It's a great addition. That is actually really good. Goddamn. Because I noticed weakness exploit also got changed too, where you do get increased affinity on weak points as well as wounds. You get more on wounds. Sometimes, like, I still don't know, depending on the weapon you're using, it might not be worth to go for a wound attack. You might as well just keep attacking the wound normally just to stack up more damage. Grouping for crowns. I think there's probably forums already like out there for crown farming. Like, because you can exchange crowns in this game, which is really nice. You find a crown, save it as an investigation, and you can then have 3 uses. Well, if you hunt it yourself as well, you then have 3 extra uses of sharing that crown out with other players. Like, so you could do crown trades. That's what Strawballs and I did the other day. So I have a bunch of crowns done now. He's got a bunch of crowns done. So like, I'm only missing like 10 monsters, and that's it. Like, the list is done. It's not a lot. It's well, oh yeah, because the bow, you have to charge up the fucking attack. It's either that or like maybe light bowgun. I guess it depends if you include the animation of actually doing the attack after latching onto the monster. Because heavy bowgun's animation is longer than the fucking light bowgun for sure. Village food prompts. Oh, this poor guy. This one's still here. It's still getting more posts onto it. Jesus Christ. Trade some crowns. Oh, I guess people are doing that on Steam. Interesting. Wait, this is also freshly posted. 13 minutes ago. What do you have, good sir? Oh shit, dude, he's got Kumagala large and small. Ooh. I can only give him this. That's the only one I have. Whatever. He's also got Yankoku large. Bruh. And Balahara large. Damn. I wish I were him. I wish I were. Big damage numbers. Was there a patch? What? A patch that changes damage numbers? What? Of course not. What the fuck? Wait. What is this one? I just want to see it. Fucking 87 jesters. The blonde blacksmith Gemma is over-sexualized. I'm not sure why the blonde blacksmith in the game has to look like an adult film star. Jesus. There was the same issue in Final Fantasy 15, I believe, with the mechanic. You'll never... Well, actually, Cindy and Gemma do look pretty similar. You'll never see women like this in day-to-day life, and no other women in the game look normal. Wait. Oh, and the other women in the game look normal. I don't get this character's place in the game and setting, and likely won't be getting the teenage... And likely won't be letting my teenage son play it now with the sexualized content. Sexualized content.
How about instead of bitching about Monster Hunter characters, you go hunt some bitches?
Oh my god, Papa Shackles, goddamn. I was cursed. I did see that mod. Zorai sent me that like the moment it fucking came out. The shit was insane. Like fucking hell. Oh yeah, fletching, that makes sense, yeah. Him has always been horny. True. There was that lady in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, the guild mom, who wanted to fuck a Brachydios. We don't talk about that, alright? That's sexual content. Also, wait, Todd gave him the answer? Hold on, also, that's a very suspicious looking name. Keep your baby shelter, he might accidentally find women attractive. Fuck. Oh my god. This guy's farm paid off. I don't know if it's a farm, alright? I don't know. I've seen a few though. On this forum, however. That is a blacksmith. She looks weak. And why is she half naked? A blacksmith should be wearing protective clothes and being strong. Some people say they are against too woke. But they have no problems with things like that. And it's all because Obikasu, it's a hot girl, not some ugly one. I think those people who are giving clowns for this thread are perverts and hypocrites. Oh my god. They don't know the 4 Ultimate reference. They don't know. They don't know Little Miss Forge. Oh my god. It has like a shitload of fucking posts on it too, Papa Shackles. Goddamn. No cats to cook for him. I did hear that they're adding a canteen in the first update, so I'm curious about that. Being able to like choose what you get from a canteen list would also be very nice. Also, if they're taking player feedback into account, they're gonna give us the buffest, meanest looking cat chef ever. It'd be wild. Because of no apron. I think, well actually no, I'm thinking of the guys in the Aces forge. That's a different forge. There was somebody I saw talking about how you know, Monster Hunter Wilds is woke. It's a woke game or whatever. I would love, because you know, Nata, right? But I would love to see somebody try and point to the non-binary character in Monster Hunter Wilds. I would love to see that. And I know the first one that comes to mind is Eric, but Eric is a man. Everybody refers to him as he, him. It's not him. Valerie. Goddamn. Because it's easy with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's very easy. They got a whole biography on the guy. Twin guy. It's not Veil. Yeah, there's a very big difference between Veilguard Assassin's Creed Shadows Avowed and Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a pretty substantial difference. And like, I love the argument that the game is like, you know, quote unquote woke for the diversity aspect because Nata. Like, dude, you know 3 Ultimate was like on a fucking island town, right? And there were like people who weren't white there. Like that was a whole game. Bro. Anyway. And you were the white savior, I'm kidding. What the fuck is this? These are all happening so fast. Oh my god. What is this? New ecosystem quest bug. Can't complete mission. So I got pretty far into the quest when I realized I didn't have any traps and tranks equipped. So I quit the game, went to sleep. Today I logged back in and Alma isn't giving me the option to finish the quest. She's sitting in a normal spot. I can't fast travel, and if I attempt to leave the area, she calls me back. New ecosystem quest. Is that the one where you have to fight the Yan Kutku? Because I saw somebody having an issue with this where like, oh, I didn't know this was a capture quest and they didn't bring any traps and tranks. Any veteran would have traps and tranks, but they do give you traps and tranks after it gets to the point where you can capture it. You just have to open your thingy. People downloaded it. I did see that. Holy fuck. That was absurd. But don't worry, guys. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a commercial success at the moment. All right, it's breaking records, hitting numbers of like under 100K. Huge, huge, massive success. I don't know what quest he's talking about. Oh, hey. I'm actually curious if anybody has anything to disagree with this particular post. Because I know what he's talking about. I did this on stream. It was pretty fun. Shadows is nuts. It's absolutely insane. I think Rocket, well, probably one of my big complaints with Assassin's Creed Shadows is the microtransactions. Like, it is more scummier than the other Assassin's Creed games like Odyssey and Origins. Like, it's so much more scummy. It's a little ridiculous for a single player game. Jesus. That's Fair Fledgling Gamer. That's how my partner was with Dragon Age of Veilguard, until she got far enough in the game to realize that it's not good. And then she no longer liked the story of the game anymore. But as far as I've seen the actual gameplay for Shadows, it's just okay. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just okay. Like, the game functions. It works. And this day and age, that's all you can really ask for, alright? Milking the whales. It's like, I think the paid currency expansion to the map is just like, well, like, being able to reveal the map is just a bit... That's a bit, you know... What's the point of... There's eventually, if Ubisoft was still allowed to keep developing games, and I say that as if they're going to go out of business, who knows. I wonder if eventually they'll get to the point where you could just pay money to just not play the game at all. Like, you pay money to get somebody else to play the game for you, because what's even the point of the game at that point? Like, you don't need to play. You just use money. Just spend money. Pay to not play games. I mean, the idle games do exist. That is true. Fucking hell. Oh, pencil for hello. Oh, actually, I've never used this when I was trying to fish for get the fishing achievement. I never did that. I don't know what that actually does. I think it makes fish bite easier. Oh, it's this person. I doubt anyone finds it hard. Yeah, I don't know what this is for. Yo, Fludging Gamer, I think you're onto something, alright? You know, if Metroid Other M did that, that would be hilarious. When you beat Metroid Other M, you unlock the Metroid Other M movie, which is basically just all the cutscenes in the game put into one thing. It's just a movie of all the cutscenes. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being a thing. Have you got Reaper? I actually don't have Reaper. I've seen people playing it though. It looks like a lot of fun, but I've not gotten it. Pay to skip content. I don't know about any single player games that you pay to skip content. I know Destiny lets you pay to skip content. I know Final Fantasy 14 lets you pay to skip content. Like, to be fair, there's a lot of content in Final Fantasy 14. It's a huge time investment if you wanted to play that game from start to finish in modern day. If you just want to skip to like the current expansion, I can totally get that. But Jesus. The content's bad. Fuck. Oh my god. So strong. What is difficult? And I'm still at it. Getting crowns for all the fishies. Oh, right. You can crown hunt the fishes, I forgot. That's pretty impressive. Oh, they're on keyboard and mouse. Okay. Right. Enjoy the story, fuck. Eventually, one day, if I forget, it might have been Ubisoft, I'm not sure. There was a company that wanted to, oh, it's EA. It's EA that wanted to like charge people for stupid shit. That's the kind of company I would expect to have a pay money skip the entire game. But I don't think, they only make like fucking sports games and Sims now. Like, I don't know what else they really do. Mine's breaking. Also, fishing is shit in this game and pointless. I'm not even talking about the fuckrate vision blocking while fishing. Okay, I can agree with this. I hate that Sacred walks in front of the way while fishing. I get that. Jesus. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Charging for ammo. Yeah, it was like, I forget which CEO it was, but somebody wanted to charge money for bullets, which is a bit silly. Dude, gamers need to be used to not, like, owning games, alright? Are people finding it difficult? No one in this thread has said it's difficult yet. Like, I'm waiting to see who says it's difficult. I lost the... Here it is. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, let's just show your outfits. Never mind. I keep wanting to see the new ones. I can't read that, unfortunately. How does this guy know this? This is total BS. This is total BS. Also, I like how there was no spoiler on the thumbnail. Hang on. This is total bullshit. This is total bullshit. Oh my god. Players and the plan to release the base game, but just tech issues. Like, what? No. There's dreams, there's rumors, there's ideas that people want Gogmazios because there's a whole, like, oil zone and he'd fit right in. But, like, no. No. I don't know if, I mean, hang on. I don't know if somebody data mined it, because I don't think this information would be in the game. At least not until the first title update anyway. Yeah. That is true, Fudging. At that point, it's another one of those, like, okay games. Like, Veilguard also functions. Like, it is a game. But goddamn. Wait. I also don't know if this is the case. I still feel like they're gonna add Elder Dragons, but not like the Elder Dragons we know them as. Like, they're not gonna add like Teostra. I feel like they're gonna add like Guardian Teostra. Same for all the other all the other Elder Dragons. I feel like that's how they're gonna introduce them, as Guardians. What? Okay, this guy's just having issues. Just having issues. Hang on, let me go further back. Wait, what? Okay, never mind. I mean, there are still a lot of people having like PC problems. Shitloads. But I'm actually kind of glad that people are sharing crowns. I think that's really nice. Oh my god. Wait, that's already back here? Holy fuck. Wait. Okay, I don't know where he's getting at with this. I've only played the game in Japanese. I've not played it in English. I've heard the English voices, and that's all I need to hear. I'm not hearing it anymore. What is this? What is this silliness? Do you intend to keep playing if the April patch is a disappointment? Assuming that the patch brings nothing that adds actual longevity to the game, are you out? I'm sure as Redacted won't be able to replay Arcveiled until midsummer, when patch 2 comes. When patch 2 comes 1. No way. What? Oh my god, Fledgling. That would be hilarious. I do want to make an Ardian weapon along with an Ardian armor like layered set, because I do like the robotic look. It also has jiggle physics, not in the sense that you'd think it would have jiggle physics, but the little like rotors and stuff, they like jiggle. Not a lot of armor sets do that. Hang on. Been playing Generations Ultimate for weeks now, HR 56. I dropped Wilds at HR 35-ish. I'll pick up today. I mean, like, he probably finished it though, to be fair. Like, once you get to HR 30, you're pretty much done. Like, once you get past that cap. I'll pick up and play the patch until I beat each new piece of content one time, lol. So what? 30 minutes tops? Eh? I did that with Rise Sunbreak after they started adding the Risens. I was like, I can't be fucked yet into MR 200. That's too much. That's too much. I'm not gonna get to anomaly rank 300. All right. A little insane. No, unlike World or Rise, there's nothing keeping me in Wilds. If I want fun or challenge, I can play previous games because they just give me more. How? Oh, it's private profile. I was gonna say, like, how many hours do these guys have in it? Never mind. Keep that in mind. And yes, I'll keep playing because I like the game. There you go. There you go. Nice. Man, I didn't realize I'm actually ahead of people now. Huh. I guess I did kind of smash it out for like a week. Brother, this is a video game. You're allowed to stop playing if you aren't feeling it. He's got a point. Alright. Something Above Tempered is coming. I don't think Something Above Tempered is coming in the next title update. That's like probably the next one or the one after. You just ruined my mood with that title update 1 statement. Not cool. What? You already know what's gonna be in it. Sure, but what if it's one monster? How is it supposed to add longevity? I thought you just said... Whatever. It's disappointing. I'm a Charge Blade elitist. I stick only with one weapon forever. Also, if it's 2 monsters, how exactly am I supposed to stretch it? Lol. No way each hunt lasts over 10 minutes. That's sub 30 minutes of gameplay. I don't know if this is just me. I could never imagine sticking to one weapon and only one weapon for the entire, like series, or the entire like encompassing game. I could never stick to one weapon. That'd be impossible. Like, I feel like most of the gameplay is in the weapons, and there's 14 different ones to choose from. And like, I understand having a favorites, but it's fun to experiment and see what the other weapons are like, and like, you know, dip your hand in and see what's going on. Because Wilds has certainly changed up a lot of the weapons, a lot of their movesets, and I like that. It's good stuff. That also adds to content. Like, let's say, oh, greatsword's cool. I want to go make a cool greatsword, and it's a greatsword armor set or something like that. That adds time. That adds gameplay. There's more to do, and you do that for all the 14 weapons. Then, well, shit. Because it also factor in the time it takes to learn the weapon and actually use the weapon. Like, that just adds more time to gameplay. I know it's like artificial time, depending on how much you like branching out and stuff. But like, I don't know. I prefer... Wait, hold up. That's the whole point of this thread. I want to play the game. It's not like I hate Wilds. It sounds a lot like you hate Wilds, my guy. Like, you want it to suck so you can stop playing it. But it has no content. And if there's nothing in the first patch, stopping is my plan. I forced myself to play Rise for about 3 weeks. I had to wait 2 months for Sunbreak to come out on the PS5. I'd never, ever again. Wait, what? How is it that bad? Literally overdosed replaying the same repetitive content. Not happening with Wilds. And if the patch isn't around the corner, I would have left yesterday when I got to HR 100. What? If you played for 3 weeks, what was the repetitive content? The anomaly quests? Wait. No, oh, there's a time difference here. There's a time difference. This part doesn't make any sense. There's an unknown amount of time where he's played Sunbreak for. There's an unknown amount of time. He could have played Sunbreak for like 200 hours. Who knows? Maybe that's what he's talking about. Seems like an important factor that needs to be here. Oh, dude, Fledgling. I was saying that to Kage earlier. I wish you could do that. I wholeheartedly wish you could pigment weapons. Because there are certain weapons that I feel would benefit from having a pigment changed or pigment augment. Just in general, as well as adding weapons too. That'd be really nice. It's my content. Bro, I'm such a hardcore gamer. I've already experienced all of the content in the game. Every single thing. Is somebody trying to argue that Assassin's Creed Shadows is just higher rated? Did it ever occur to you how many ratings there are and how many people have had PC issues? Like, goddamn. I'm probably going to reset back to the first page and then probably end, but... Wait, what is this? Wait a second. No way. He's back. Bro, he's back. He's still on my friends list, by the way. He's still there. He changed his name, though. No fucking... Look at that little friend icon, bro. Look at that. I don't believe it. Also, 81 hours. I've got more time than him. Holy fuck. I'm writing down the names of everyone who made a "this game is too easy" thread. That way, when October Monsters release next month, and some high hopes there, Deathsia, some high hopes. And you'll get your butts handed to you over and over again. I can see how many of you make a "Arc-Tempered Monsters are OP" or "Game's too hard" thread. I can point out, this is what you wanted, I thought, and laugh. Oh, right, I don't think I don't think Deathsia does anything else other than just like post to Steam. Like, holy shit. Next month. I don't think Arc Temperance are coming next month. There's Mizu, and there's like some other bullshit, plus the Gathering Hub and the Canteen and whatnot. The Gathering Hub might have alternate quests, who knows? If the mystery monster is a siege, I'm gonna literally like bust a nut. Like, there's no way that's gonna happen, but it'd be really cool if like the Colv adjacent monster just randomly was like the next update. That'd be insane. Wouldn't happen though, but it'd be really cool. The reason why I want that too, by the way, is I like the way the Colv system worked, where you're fighting it for the random weapon drops. I like the random weapon drops. I want them to do that again, like with Safi and stuff like that. Like I enjoyed that a lot. That's what I went from having like 600 hours in Monster Hunter World to like 1,500 just because of that Safi bullshit. I don't know. It was just really fun and addicting. I just couldn't stop doing it. Anyway, hold up. Deathsia, how many posts have you made? Why? It's the name of the person who posted this. Wait, what is this? I am heartbroken and uninstalled the game. After 100 hours, sadly, there's nothing else to do and 0 challenge. It's like after 100 hours. Sometimes you just gotta take a step back and it's like, wow, 100 hours? You came to that realization after a fucking 100 hours? Did it ever occur to you that maybe you've just experienced all of the content in the game because you played it for a fucking 100 hours? Most AAA games these days wish you could be playing for 100 hours. Like, Jesus. Anyway, there's nothing else to grind for, and Arcane weapons are simply ass. I actually teared up when uninstalling because I thought we were going to be playing nothing but Monster Hunter Wilds for 5 years. Brother, you're going to install it as soon as the title update comes out. I bought few anime games to cope, and not rope till expansion release. Gonna install maybe or maybe not when title update is like, you're like, what the fuck? Such bullshit. Oh my god. I mean, with a name like that though, holy fuck. Just wait, bro. Just wait. It's gonna get better, trust me. Ah! No, upper, please. It's funny there. Like, I don't know. It just feels like if you're playing a game for like 100 hours, I don't know. Also, this person's got a point. Iggy? Actually, Iggy was in the other thread too. Yeah. That's a fair point. Because everything's so much faster now, with all the quality of life stuff, like even the time saved of using Sacred to just walk to the monster. Imagine how many times or how much longer it would take to chase after the monster without Sacred. How much time that would add up for each hunt that you've done over the course of like your entire play history. That's a lot of time. That's hours. That is hours of chasing after the monster that has been removed. Unlock all this and repeat. Oh damn, fledgling. While the roster is so small at the moment, I was tempted to do that. I don't think I'll put in the time because like it's mostly grinding for hunter symbol tickets. Like that's the big roadblock, is the hunter symbol tickets. The monster materials themselves, that's fine. The hunter symbol tickets are the big problem. Because you'd have to be hunting like tempered, you know, gore tempered, basically any of the tempered apex monsters, like at least 3 to 5 times per weapon. That's a fair bit of time, actually. I just figured I'd make one of each weapon type, so I have something to swap to in case I want to do. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but in case I want to do like a random hunt day where I just have like I keep cycling weapons based on RNG. I feel like that'd be fun. this. It's this guy again. All games are time wasters. You're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong. What did whoa, they responded? Any logical person reading my comment can see that post written with sadness and sincere feeling towards someone's favorite video game franchise. Brother, literally in tears, shaking and crying right now. Hissing and shitting over how little content there is in Wilds. Oh my god. And I mean, like, if you're coming off of the bandwagon for Sunbreak had so much content in it, and it still does. And Generations had shitloads, alright? And like, you're coming off of like G-Rank expansions. Right? Of course, a game without a G-Rank expansion isn't going to have much content. And no title updates. It's have nothing. Oh, right. There's I don't actually no, there is an armor set that boosts drops, I think. It's just a bad armor set. But I think there is I think there is something that does give you better rewards. I don't know if it functions like having a good luck meal effect for one of the towns or something like that. But that could be interesting for farming. I might look into that. Wait, this is the same post. What the fuck? Also, it wouldn't be a boast since challenge is already non-existent. I'm getting redacted by 30-year-old games right now. And I was expecting at least half of it from a 2025 release game. No, games are made for babies these days. Come on, what are you talking about? It's nauseating. Goddamn. When did, wait. The Tokix no-lifers are mad because they don't get 10,000 hours out of a game. You cannot make this up anymore. Bro, I just want to farm for the rest of my entire life, please. Rampages. Oh, yeah. Like, when first doing Rampages, I was like, damn, Rampages is such a neat concept. And then it started to get a little too repetitive. And then, like, by the time I was done with high rank, I was like, I really don't want to do any more Rampages. Granted, I know there's no Rampages in Sunbreak, but I kind of wish they at least let you improve the Rampage weapons. I think the Rampage weapons were a decent addition to Rise, but the fact that they're completely useless in Sunbreak is total bullshit. Like, it's imagine, okay, let's say in Wilds, okay, everybody who's farming for Ardian weapons and stuff like that, people who have put so much time into min-maxing perfect Ardian weapons, getting the perfect god rolls, making the best possible weapon imaginable. But then, as soon as the G-Rank expansion comes out, they're fucking obsolete. Like, no one is ever going to talk about Ardian weapons ever again. Like, they're gone. All that time spent getting them, wasted. Alright? That's how I feel about the Rampage weapons in Rise. I have so many of them, and they're all useless now. That's so good. Good judgment. I mean, I would assume this guy is just shitposting. Like, based on the name alone and what they said, it's just a jester farmer. Like, holy shit. Like, Jesus Christ. Interesting to see the same names over and over again, though. Player retention is important. I'm a bit iffy on this. I understand why they do it, and I didn't mind World's title updates all that much. I think that's okay. Sunbreak's title updates, on the other hand, actually kind of pissed me off a little bit. Because monsters are one thing. Melding methods? That's a different thing, alright? I don't want to have all of the melding charms and shit that I made become obsolete because now there's a new melding method that got unlocked several days or several months after the game's lifespan. I hate that, and I never want to see that. That's bad. That's a bad title update. Where is the failing? It turned it into like a fucking tower defense game mode, and like from a surface level perspective, it's like okay, but then when you understand the mechanics of how it works, it's fucking stupid. Like, because every weapon gets like your main weapons are basically shit against rampage monsters, but the hunter gong is where the big plays come in, right? It not only gives you your raw damage back, but you just get like a shitload of damage, like an extra big damage boost on just your raw damage. So you can just hit the gong and the wave is done. Like, there's no challenge to any of them. I think the only time I had an issue with it was maybe against like Ibushi for the rampage. But like, I don't know if it's scripted. I mean, I know breaking of the first wall is scripted. That's just guaranteed to happen, and then you have to go to the second one. That always happens in every single one of those rampages. It's just guaranteed. I wish it didn't. But like, it's the rampages suck. They just suck. But I can see where they're getting at with like a new thing to do. It was just a bit of a fucking waste of time. And the only thing worth doing it for was the special, I think they're called Apexes. I could be wrong, because there's Apexes in this game as well, but I think they were called Apexes. But then they just released those as separate event monster quests anyway. So like, you didn't even have to do the rampage to fight them. So, it's whatever. I also wonder if they'll do that for... So, the Apex monsters, in my opinion, I think they fight very similarly to the Deviants from Generations Ultimate. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some code overlapping there. But I wouldn't be too shocked if they implement that same thing with Wilds, with the Guardian monsters. And the Guardian monsters fight similarly to their... Actually, no, that's not true, because otherwise Guardian Rathalos would fight like Dread King Rathalos, so never mind. That is true, Fledgling Gamer. That is very true. Wait. Hold up. Ancient OP cry post, my example. What? Oh. So how did Deathsia get involved in this? Oh my god, okay, never mind. There's 150 posts. I'm looking at one more and then that's it. On the front page. I can't believe I saw Deathsia again though. That's true, Fledgling. And also make it more interesting, like by adding, you know, new moves and stuff to it. So it's like, I'm all for, like, again, I really think they're gonna add Guardian Elder Dragons. Like, not just standard Elder Dragons. I think Guardian versions of them, specifically. Similar to how Sunbreak has the Risen Elders, quote unquote. Like, I think that's how they're gonna reintroduce them. Sorry, RNG's terrible. Oh, right, the decos. Wait, hold up. What is this other one? Oh, right, it's the fucking... It's the other post. Some more fucking... More problems. What do you think about Zoashia and its similarities with the Xeno'jiiva? I feel the concept and aesthetic are too similar. I hope we won't see Shara Ishvalda revamp in the DLC. It is Xeno'jiiva with Shara Ishvalda's hands already. Wilds is already World 2. At least Arkveld is a marginally more interesting flagship than Ogiante. Although, it already shares the traits of apparently eating its own kind. The writing staff really couldn't think of anything new, so they did the same thing again. Kind of like Rise did with Portable Third. I actually, I would say Jindahad is more closer to fucking Xenojiva, just from the skeleton aspect. Like it's pretty similar. Also, I didn't really get to have many thoughts about Zoashia because you fight it one time and it dies in like fucking 10 minutes. So I probably shouldn't have been using the bow for that fight, to be fair. But like, I didn't have many thoughts. Weapons now. The thing with like the skills on weapons, like, it's interesting. It does give the weapons a unique playstyle to them, depending on, you know, what weapon it is. Like, for example, I think the Doshiguma greatsword has like punishing draw on it because it's supposed to, you know, that's like its thing. It like does that. But then so does the bow. And like, you can do draw attacks with the bow and get a stun. That's cool, but like, Jesus Christ. Never fight it again. I'm assuming they're saving it for a title update expansion because I don't have that thing up, but on PlayStation it shows you your game progress, like the story completion, and it's not done yet. There's like 5% missing of the main story campaign. So I'm assuming the last thing to do in the main story is to fight the updated version of Zoashia in high rank. Like, I think that's the last thing for the story. Because I don't know why it's just stuck at like 95%. That is true as well. I do like that Sword and Shield still remains to be the one weapon where you can use items while it's drawn. That is still handy. Also, this was 5 minutes ago, by the way. I don't think anyone's gonna comment on it. Damn. Well, I think that might be where I end things for today. It's been a long day. A lot of stuff happened. I really liked where is it? Was it this post? I really liked this post. This was my favorite post. I hope this guy continues to actually, I guess he's not awake right now. Fuck. I want him to post more. But this guy was interesting because I couldn't fucking read that shit. But that might be where I have to end things.